us. We're going to be having in that hour and partially near the end a little Q&A with the wonderful Laura Binding. Ask her anything to do with her. Why are you laughing at that? Anything. Favourite sandwich, Felon? Ask her anything, preferably to do with jewellery, and she will try and help you out with that, whether it's giving your finishing pieces a professional look, or any tips or hints. Maybe you're struggling to finish something off. Maybe you want an idea on how to cost and price your goodies. Not a problem. Message us in on 60777, and that is JM Studio is how you start your text. Alternatively, go onto our website. It's JewelleryMaker.com, and on there you will see a little box. The box says send a message to the studio, and really simply type in your message there and it will wing its way to us in moments. We're going to squeeze in as many questions as we can in that second hour when we're doing our Wirework special. So start sending them in now, and then we'll be able to answer those for you in around an hour or so. After that, we are back to the wonderful Laura, and we're going for much warmer tones in the second kit, aren't we?
Yeah, and I've also tried to go for a completely different style to the first one. Something. The first one's going to be a little bit more advanced.
Your mic's turned off.
It's not.
Is your batteries gone? Me wonders. I could do an impression. She said, I was going much more with the golden tones. That's not your accent, is it? No, it's not even slightly my accent. It's just said. So she has got a wonderful, it's gold, it's inspired, it's lots of swirls, twists, but very organic, but it's a bit of a different technique. There's lots of layering up in there that she's used in her second piece. So you've got that coming up for you too. And in our final hour, I have a whole load of under £10. Doesn't mean it should be under £10, but it is going to be for you in our final hour. As well as that, I've got so much going on in today's show, it's amazing. As well as that, I have got for you everybody's favourite bead scoops. You can get your hands on a load of beading scoops that I've got for you today. They will be coming up for you in that final hour. Loads of goodies in there. I know how much you love that at home. So let's start off by bringing you the gemstones for this designer inspiration piece. It's a wonderful kit. It's been put together really, really well. And when you have a look at it, I think you'll be very impressed with the amount you can do with this kit. Just to let you know, this is going to be under £20 straight away. First off, let's talk about this stunning cabochon. Now, this one is 420, no, hang on. This one is 55 carats of your black striped agate in the faceted cabochon. You can see the faceting here just perfectly catching the light. And a cabochon's important for the piece that you're going to be creating, really, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah, it's the focal part, really. But, you know, I have tried not to lose the beauty because they're really gorgeous. That faceting just changes it completely.
Gives it a sparkle, a little bit of an eye-catching section. Now, everyone's will be faceted, but of course it is going to be different, the effect you get, because of course it is a genuine gemstone. It's completely created by Mother Nature. We only ever bring you genuine gemstones, as you know, and it means that although you will get a black striped agate cabochon that will be faceted, and it will be this size, which is 40 by 30 mil, you might not get exactly the same banding on it, which is exciting and fun, isn't it? As well as that, you are going to be getting 3 strands. In here, you have got 170 carats worth of your black rutile quartz, and these are your 8mm plain rounds. It's a wonderful strand because the rutilation inside, these little dark jets of the tourmail, it giving you almost a Mother Nature encapsulated effect. You've got these darts, sometimes referred to as Venus hair. You get these little darts internally, which add a lot of texture to your pieces, but you're still working with a perfect 8mm round, which we all know is one of our favourite pieces, one of your favourite sizes. You've also got in here 125 carats of your black tourmaline in these 6mm plain rounds. These ones at the end here, just giving you a really powerful jet colour. They've got about them. These are these 6mm plain rounds, and you'll be seeing that because they are jet and because it is tourmaline, you've got this beautiful sheen on the surface of them. So although you're working with the jet colour, it's still got a little bit of something to draw your eye to, isn't it? And finally, you have a whopping 425 carats of your hematite in these faceted rounds, and these are 10mm, and this is a 36cm strand. You're getting absolutely plenty on here. Hematite has got this beautiful metallic luster to it, and you can see the thing I adore with hematite is it's one of those gemstones that when you put it on, when you place it against your skin, you can tell instantly it's there, because not only because of the weight, but also because of the coolness that hematite naturally gives that a lot of other gemstones don't. It's a beautiful selection and they go together exquisitely. Let's reiterate exactly what you're getting. You're getting 3 strands, one of your rutile quartz, one of your hematite, and one of your tourmaline. And you're also going to be getting your beautiful striped, faceted 55 carat cabochon. And this one is 40 by 30mm. Now, it is designer inspirations. So, sometimes we'll bring you your strands and your wire together. We're not doing that today. The reason we're not doing that for you today is because you might have at home plenty of wire, but you just want to get your hand on the look, on the pieces, on the gemstones that we're working with. This is your opportunity to do that. The price on the website for all of these goodies today is £20.80, which is really a wonderful price, especially considering you're getting 425 carats of hematite with that beautiful faceting. It's £20.80, but I did promise you earlier on it will be under 20. Let's take a look at the deal we're going to do. It's designer inspiration. And when we do designer inspiration, we want to bring you these wonderful inspirational pieces at great prices. And that's exactly what we've done here. £16.95. You are getting a whopping carat weight in this amount. And you're getting this stunning cabochon. The faceting on it, it's interacting perfectly and really complementing not only the other pieces in the hematite and that wonderful jet tourmaline sparkle, but also it's just showing off the zonality in the beautiful agate. It's a wonderful, wonderful deal. Now, what I want to highlight to you now is that our step-by-step design that you'll be seeing and how to create the beautiful piece that Laura's made. She's used the cabochon as the centerpiece, and you haven't really touched upon the other gemstones, have you?
No, I haven't. Just purely because I didn't feel it was needed for the piece that I was creating. That said, you know, that you've got 3 strands of beautiful gemstones ready to be used for any accompanying sort of jewellery, some earrings, if you want a bracelet or anything like that, you've got the perfect tones in those other strands. So I just didn't want... They just weren't needed for this one piece. Yeah. But that's just one piece.
And these actually would be perfect for your second one, wouldn't they?
They would be ideal for my second one.
The colourways.
Yeah, it would make a lovely alternative colourway for the second project.
Definitely, it'd go absolutely perfectly. Well, welcome, Twinny. Oh,
it is actually the same shade.
It's the same shade. We look like post boxes, don't we? I've got coming up for you some wire. That second section will be coming up. Don't forget, you're going to be getting the one that you've been keeping your eyes open for. We've had loads of comments about it. It will be coming to you in the bundle, 100 metres of your silver 0.4. It's the only way you can currently get it off us. We haven't got any on the website. We've literally got it in this bundle that I've got coming up for you, and that will be with you in a few moments. Hi. First off, LOVE this piece. Second off, explain to us what your inspiration for this was.
Well, first of all, obviously I saw the cab and I had the wire, so I wanted to do something nice to sort of really complement that. What we're going to focus on is actually making that cab a wire wrapped cab, so you could turn that into a brooch, you could make it into a pendant, but because it was so dramatic, I wanted it to have something quite dramatic to go with it.
Yes.
And to be honest, a lot of the time, sometimes when you're creating, I was just playing about with the wire, you know, I was just thinking, well, what would work, what wouldn't. I did have a different design in mind originally and it didn't work, so I adapted it a little bit more and that sort of evolved. So it's always worth sort of going with your gut, really, and if something's not going the way you want it to, change it.
I see.
Yeah, so that's just playing about and putting bits of wire here, will that work, won't that? And then when it started, it sort of formed itself and I was like, oh, so yeah.
So it does that sometimes, especially with wire, doesn't it? It'll kind of lead you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, my original idea, I could see that stone being sort of encased in wire, and I had it sort of in my head as a bib with lots of wire sort of folded over and holding it all in place, and it didn't really work. Well, it did if I'd have had more time and could really put it, it would be a real sort of intense piece. So then I kind of just adapted it to still make that focal piece. You know, I just love that stone.
And you've done it beautifully. I think it's such a stunning piece. We've all been having a good nosy, as always, up in the office, and it was really, really popular one with everyone. It's so beautiful. So whereabouts on this do we need to start?
We're going to start with the cab. I just wanted to say what you were saying about each cab being different. I mean, that one, my stripes were going downwards, and I almost had a half clear and half dark side. On this one, it's very sort of patterned.
Oh yeah,
which was my second one, and obviously then you've got the one from over there, which is completely different again.
Yeah.
And I think the fact is this would go with any colour wire as well, which is really lovely. So you know, the whole piece there, you can use the whole kit. You could use for so many things, even if you didn't do wire work.
Yeah.
You've got everything there for that look, haven't you?
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Okay, so
and like you say, I love the difference in the.
Yeah, they're just so different. Glad you brought that over. Yeah.
I'll show you these here. Because these are, exactly as I was saying earlier, it's the same cabochon, but because of the way Mother Nature works, it's exactly the same gemstone as well, but it just goes to show how Mother Nature works. Both of these are your black stripe agate, both 55 carats, both faceted. So it just goes to show, which is fun. You can never be so sure exactly which one you'll get. So
we're going to start off.
Give you this one.
Okay, thank you. So obviously, what I've got is 1mm wire and 0.4 wire.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's coming up.
That's what's coming up in the next bundle, which is amazing. I was so chuffed when I found out I had this. It was brilliant.
Were you?
Yeah. And again, being silver is that popular colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to do is I've got my stone here. Now I'm not actually really going to measure it. I know I want quite a lot of wire. Because I'm going to use this wire to support the stone and also to make the decorative weaves over the stone and encase it. So that whole stone is going to be done out of 2 pieces of 1mm wire.
Okay, wonderful.
So I don't add wire to it in any way, apart from obviously the weaving wire.
Yes.
So I'm going to just, what I'm going to just say is I've got my stone there. I can see that that's going to not only go around the stone, but give me tons to play about with.
Okay, so you've probably cut off there about...
Really just
50
just shy of a metre. Yeah. I've probably got too much, but again, anyone that knows me, I like to
Better
use...
to have more.
Yeah.
It's difficult to add on sometimes, isn't it?
It is, and with this design, you won't be able to add on. You need it all to be done in one hit. And also, if you do cut any off, keep it to one side, because you can use it for little extras, like on building up the actual frame as well.
I see.
So you can always use it, and you can use it for clasps, findings, anything like that.
Everything.
Okay, so just getting a rough idea, just measuring roughly. Okay.
Yeah.
So, a lot of this design is actually quite repetitive with the weave that I use. It's a common weave that I use. I've shown it quite a few times on here. I'll still show it, but it's one that I do a lot. Some people call it basket weave, some people call it the over and under weave. It's what I use for the woven bale a lot. So it's a very effective weave. It looks quite good.
Yes.
So I'm going to work from the reel. I'm going to do as much of this from the reel as I can, because again, that saves wastage. And having it on the reel, you can control it a bit better, because obviously there will be a time where you will need to cut it, but do as much as you can.
Because it keeps the tension as well, and then you don't have to worry about adding on, do you?
No, and the thing is, then because every time you have to cut and add another piece on, then that's another end that you've got to try and sort of cut nice and smooth, make sure you hide it nicely and it blends in.
Yeah.
If you can get it all done in one hit, if it's doable, then do it.
Do that.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put my wires together, and I'm just going to kick out the bottom of them, and that's just going to enable me to get my wire through nice and easily. So I'm just going to take one, which will be the bottom one. Taking what I'm going to just call my 0.4 weaving wire.
Okay.
I'll probably do this out of habit, but this is going to be the weaving wire, and this is going to be the base wire.
Okay.
Okay, just because that's their roles. So I'm leaving a tiny little tail. Just going to hold it, and I'm just going to anchor this wire on about 3 to 4 wraps. Just make that nice and close, and you can see that's just a little coil.
So sometimes we remove anchoring. Are you going to keep that on throughout?
Yeah, I never.
Does it need to be quite neat?
It would blend into the design, but if you can try to make it a habit of making your work as neat as you can, then it will become something that you will naturally do.
Yeah, right.
So just try and take that time. You know, I've done a couple of sample stages, and you can tell it was getting late. I'd done lots of repeating of the same things, and it's not the neatest, but it goes to show actually how you can eat one little bit of distracted watching something on the telly, and you sort of look away and you do this. That can make an effect on your overall appearance.
Yes.
So try and take that time. And I won't remove a tail, but all I will do, or the anchoring, sorry, but I will trim this little tail bit here, but I'm not going to do that just yet.
Okay.
All right, sorry about my nail polish, by the way. I told you that would happen, didn't I?
Well, you didn't give it enough time to dry. Now, I just want to let you know, whilst you're here, that I've got some people online and they haven't checked out their baskets. You're going to be getting these beautiful 3 strands and your striped cabochon. You're going to be getting the hematite, the tourmaline, the rutile quartz, and this agate. But some people have got it in their baskets and they haven't checked out. Now the problem with that is someone can take it out of your basket. You've put the work in, you've looked at it, you've liked it, you want it. If you're not checking it out, it is literally like going to a supermarket, filling up your basket, doing the big shop. You know, the one, when's your big shop? Mine's a Wednesday.
Oh, I've sent the husband out today to do it.
That's handy.
Oh, I've dodged it.
That is handy. So you do your big shop on a Wednesday or a Saturday or whenever it is, and you've packed everything, you've followed your list, you've been walking around for about an hour looking for like some random tin of beans, but you found them, you put them in. You wouldn't just then leave your trolley and like go home, would you? Like, oh, it doesn't matter now. No, you wouldn't, because then someone will come along and take it. That's exactly the same as that. Check out, because then it's yours, isn't it? You've got it then, definitely. Check out ASAP. It's just £16.95 for you today. Should have been over £20. You check out as many times as you want. You don't have to keep paying postage and packaging. It's fine.
That makes me think of also it'd be ideal if you love to do macrame or anything like that, because it screams out.
Because it's got that
sort of impact,
boldness.
Yeah,
definitely.
So I think it's actually a lot more versatile, and if you don't do wire work, I think the strands themselves would work for anything. Right, so what I'm going to do, so this time I'm going to do the weave, but what I'm going to do is it's going to look a bit different, because I'm actually going to keep my wires together. So it is the same weave, but it's actually going to keep the pieces together.
Okay.
So, oops. That can happen, yeah, it just ran off, it's fine. Just pop it back on. Okay, so what you'll see is I'm working at the end of my wires, even though I've got long wires, they're sort of just over here. And what I want is that space to be able to, I've got all this clear, so I can use all this open space to do my weaving. If I was all the way down here, the wire would be getting in the way. I will move it down, but you want to do this, and what we need to do is keep your tension quite. Tension is something you need to practice on, because you need to be able to pull these base wires along, and then that will move this weave central. This weave is ultimately going to need to go in the middle of these wires.
Yes, so you need to get it just right, don't you?
Yeah.
Because obviously you don't want it baggy, or else it won't stay in place.
But if you weave too tight, you won't be able to move the wires.
So how would you suggest getting your tension right?
It's just that you don't need to, practice, but you don't really need to pull on it. If you notice how I'm holding the wire, I'm actually holding it quite. All I'm doing is holding it with my finger and my thumb.
Yes.
Because sometimes people can grip it really hard, and obviously if you've got hot hands, because I've got hot hands, and it will make the wire sort of kink. You need this wire to stay quite straight as well. You don't want it to sort of go all wavy, because that will make it tricky to move your weave down.
I see. So just handle it gently.
Yeah, you don't need to be holding it really tight, just as long as you're just securing it in place. Now this weave's going to go on the back of the cab. So don't worry too much if it opens up a little bit or anything like that, because it's going to go on the back. It's got an aim is to support the back of this stone.
The stone, I see.
So I've got my wire. I'm just going to go through the middle, Okay, and then over the top wire. So wrap it around once and use your finger to just scoot it along nice and close. If I just pop it like that, actually I don't need this much because I'm only doing this to demo the weave really. So I'll cut that off. So I'll be able to show you a bit better now. So all I've done is I've anchored the wire on. Now I'm gonna bring it through the middle. Keep these wires close if you can. Wrap it around this top wire once, and then back and through the middle. And try and just make sure you scoot it nice and close. Then around the bottom wire once, and then back through the middle, and then just scoot it nice. And what I'm doing is, if you notice, I run my finger along like that, and that keeps it nice and straight. And then over the top wire, scoot it along, and then back through the middle.
So you're essentially doing a figure of 8,
but with an extra wrap.
But with an extra loop at the top of
yeah.
each.
And what that does is make this, it gives it a nice, neat, even finish. So you can do this quite quickly once you've sort of get into it.
See, I love this weave because once you get the routine, and it comes together so quickly.
It'll come together really quickly. And you can see, just doing that, so just make sure you keep that wire. And it's just little habits. I always just make sure you put it nice and close. And what I do, like I said, is I will just run my finger along like that. And all that does is keep that wire nice and straight.
Yeah.
If you're doing this on a more open weave, if you get any kinks in here, it will show. So when you actually do the main part of the necklace, if you were doing this and then got any sort of kinks, so say you did this,
yeah,
that would show in, I know it's only subtle, but that would show.
Yes.
So you do need to try and I just do that, and it just makes it as straight as possible.
And you can just do that by warming your hands,
yeah,
can't you?
I'm just literally doing that. Now what will happen if you're not paying attention is, and sometimes, or not necessarily not paying attention, but distracted. With me, that's what happens. And if you're watching a certain film on the telly,
yeah,
certain actors. And then what can happen, if you pull that, you probably can't see, but you can actually go on top of the weave by mistake.
Yeah,
instead of going next to it, and then that will make it sit, and that will make it raise, and that can just affect the neatness of it. I haven't done it very well there. Okay, so yeah. I'm just going to cut that off.
So how far along would you go with that?
Well, what you need to do is you basically need to have the hole is going to sit on the back of the pendant. So what you need is basically the circumference of the pendant.
The circumference of your pendant.
So what you can do for that is take a piece of wire, a bit of your 0.4, and just pre-measure it if you want to. Yeah, just what you want is it to sit behind. So it doesn't have to be. It just has to sit just slightly on the inside.
So smaller is going to be
very
better
slightly
than slightly
smaller.
Bigger.
Yeah, and so you can just do this and just get an idea, and then measure that length.
I see.
And you can easily just fold it around and see if it fits. If it doesn't, just straighten it back out.
And then go again.
Yeah. So now what I've done.
Right, let me just interrupt you to get this wire in. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Now I've got here for you 200 meters in total. We've got both in your silver colour. You've got your 1 mil. That's the structural. This is the one that we took probably about what, 1.5 meters of earlier on to create your actual, if that, to create your 2 smile-like faces to do your weaving around. This is your structural piece. This is the one we've been using as our base wire in this technique. And we then have your weaving wire for this technique. It's the one you've all been waiting for. It is your 0.4 mil 100 meters silver wire. We've only got it in this bundle. We don't have it on the website. We don't have it if you call up the call center. It's literally just been put into this bundle. That's all we have. So if you want to get your hands on this, if you need a little stock up, get your hands on this bundle today, not only to create this piece, but of course plenty more. So you've got your weaving wire of the 0.4 and you've got your structural wire of the 1 mil, both in your silver colour for 100 meters each. Let's take a look at your web price. £42.90 is the price that these should be. Were you to buy them individually on our website right now, not that you could, because we haven't got this one in stock, but the price that that should be if you were to buy them on our website currently should be £42.90. Let's take a look at your bundling price today. Because it's designer inspiration, we want to give you the chance to create this beautiful piece at a great price. £34.95. You've got your chance to own your 0.4. I've not had that in a couple of weeks. This wire, 0.4, 100 meters worth. And you're going to be getting your 1 mil as well, because obviously the 1 mil, the higher the gauge, the thicker it is, and that means the more expensive it becomes. So the 1 mil by itself is normally £27.95. So for just a few pounds more, you are going to be getting your 0.4 mil wire for just a few pounds. You've been waiting for it for ages. It's such a popular one because it's perfect for weaving. Not your 0.25, which can be a little bit kinky and a little bit springy. It's not your 0.6, which can be tricky to weave.
Yeah, I wouldn't use 0.6
to do any of the weaving.
Not preferably, no, not preferably.
So you've got the chance to own the perfect one for your 0.4. It's a match made in heaven. These are your two favourites,
They are my favourite gauges. That's why I was so chuffed when I saw them. I mean, I've done, these are the ones I've used. No, they're not. These are the ones I've used.
Yeah.
This one's been used. We can see how much is on there. This is the 1 mil wire. I've done all my stage prepping. I've done that necklace. I've done 1 or 2 other pendants. You know, for myself.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, for future project ideas. And, you know, I've still got tons and tons and tons of it.
Because if you're using, say, 1.5 meters to create of the 1 mil to create this, you've got 100 meters here. So you could make, what, about 70?
Yeah.
Of these, because of the amount you've got here, out of this reel alone. It's £34.95. Web bidders, you are going to miss out on this, I'm afraid, because you're not checking out your baskets. So do check those out right now, because I've got a queue of people on the phone waiting, and if it gets to the point where, say, I have 5 of these left, but I've got 6 people on the phone, 6 people on the phone might snatch it out of your basket if you are not checking out. Whoever confirms first gets it. It's £34.95 for you today. It's your only chance to get your hands on your 0.4 in this silver colour. It's perfect for this project and so many more, isn't it?
I mean, if you Viking knit, if you do anything like that, it's an ideal combination for that. So, you know, you can Viking knit, you've got tons of it to do the Viking knit. You've got the 1 mil to do the findings for the Viking knit. So you've got everything you need, really.
It's perfect. It's such a mixture of techniques that you're getting from this. It's wonderful. The thing is, half my sock is gone. That's not wonderful. But the product itself and the price is, it's £34.95. It's your silver colour. You've got the 1 mil and you've got our weaving 0.4. It's perfect for this and so much more. Get your hands on this now, because half my stock has gone. And once it's gone, it's gone. We don't have the 0.4 anywhere else. It's approaching a sellout. Please check out. Do not risk it at £34.95 today. Okay, so we're on to the section where you've measured it and it fits around your cab, just behind it.
So basically what I've got is this. I've got my section of my weave just here, and what I've done is there you go. Yeah, and you can see here there's a few little mistakes just where I have got distracted. You know, I've got kids running around, and also I've done this, I was doing several stages of it. So, but if that does happen on this part, don't worry too much, because again, as I said, it goes on the back, so it doesn't matter. Don't think, oh, that's messy, I'm going to have to undo it, because it's fine. And what you should be able to do is be able to pull these base wires through. You can see I can move them, and that's even with me having already put these into a shape and sort of a few kinks, so you can still do that. And what you want is to get that weave about central to your wires, about in the centre, okay? And then keeping them sat flat, just manipulate it into sort of oval-ish shape, oval to teardrop shape, it doesn't matter. Oops. Just form it around like that, and so that the two ends are actually going to cross. So if I turn that to the side, you should be able to see, just like that, and they're going to sit one in front of the other. Okay, and what I'm then going to be able to do is pop that stone on, and it's going to actually be the back of this stone, so it's actually going to support the stone. So if I show that, you can see how it's just sitting on the back, and that's going to support it.
Okay.
Okay.
Just want to apologise to people at home if you didn't check out your baskets, if you weren't quite in time. My graphics have gone off for the wire because it's a sellout. I told you it would be, didn't I? So I'm really sorry if you didn't manage to get your hands on it. Congratulations if you did. If you didn't manage to get it, perhaps give it a go in a little bit of time, because someone might change their mind. Someone might not have been able to have their payment put through. So give it a try. Doubt it, but give it a try if you want to. I have still got some of the gemstones left though to create this beautiful piece. I've still got in here your 3 strands, including your 36cm strand of the hematite, don't forget, and whopping 425 carats worth of that. I've got your agate cabochon flashing away, your tourmaline and your black rutile quartz. It was all meant to be over £20, but it's just £16.95 for you today as a little treat. We're using this cabochon now for this wrap, but of course you can create things along the same theme with the other gemstones, but they're also wonderful for another colourway for our second project later on. So get your hands on this now. Don't risk it and wait to see what the next thing is. I'll give you a sneak peek later, but treat yourself to it now at £16.95.
Okay.
Do keep your questions coming in as well for Spellbinding herself, because we're doing a Q&A with her in probably about 40 minutes. Text us in, start your text with JM Studio, it's 60777. Alternatively, message us in online. When you go on our website, you'll see next to my face, the box now, there's a little box that says send a message to the studio. Write us in a little message, any questions you might have about this, wire work, any project, jewellery related, and Laura will try and help you out.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, so I've got my wires here. Now bear in mind, I've cut my wire just because I've done stages, but
yes,
this would still be on the reel. And all I'm going to do is, when I'm happy with the size of it, I'm actually just going to take that wire and bind around the 4 wires just to keep them in place. Don't worry about whether it's what's amusing you?
Nothing. Just thinking, Laura, binding's binding. I like that.
So if you can just see, all I've done is just wrap that wire, just literally around all 4 wires, just so that when I let go, it stays in place.
I can see.
Okay, all right. It also means that I can still manipulate these a little bit, but they're not going to spring open. Okay, so my wire would still be attached here, and it's now ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the right pair of wires. Again, this is just how I work. I think it goes back to how you're handed. If you want to work it in reverse, then that's fine, but this is how I'm starting from the right.
Just want to let you know, that we have sold out of the wire. We haven't got any of the 0.4 silver in at the moment. However, I've got another bundle coming up for you later on that has the 0.4 100 meters in the gold colour. So you have the chance to do this in a different colourway if you so choose. Coming up for you in a little bit.
Okay, so what I want these wires to have a slight, I want them to come out into a slight V. So if I just hold that, you can see what I mean. They've got a natural arc, which is fine. I want that natural arc. I want them to be in a sort of a V. I don't want it to be too wide. So you can adjust that, but I just want it to probably be about 1 centimetre. It's hard for you to sort of see that, okay? So now, my wire obviously would still be attached.
You're attached.
And now what I'm going to do is the exact same weave we've just done on the back. Okay, again, just give it. If you have had to cut your wire for any reason, you just start it completely fresh and just add it as you go. So I'm just going to literally go around it once, back through the middle, around it once, and back through the middle. And that is all I'm going to do. The exact same weave.
So explain to us what the difference is with this, because of course there is a difference. You are getting wider as the weave goes on.
Yeah.
Does that mean you have to change your tension in case you start to squidge them together, your 2 wires?
What you will find is as you work up it, I will always hold that weave. So as I get further out the weave, I actually put my thumb and my finger on the weave so that I'm still working quite, and that helps keep these wires nice and secure.
Yes.
Because otherwise what can happen is if you did pull the wire a bit too tight, they'll kick in.
Yeah, kick in and come together and cross over.
And that's the key. I mean, what will happen is if you find you're doing this sort of thinner part here, and you find actually it's not widening out because you're pulling it a bit too tight, even if you've done that much and think, oh, I need it to go open a little bit, just sort of open up a little bit and then it will start to form. Just keep holding and then hold that wire like this. So I'm holding the sort of structure of it nice and steady.
Yeah.
If I was to pull this one, I'm going to do this now, if I was to pull it too tight, you can see it's bending that wire back in.
Down.
And the thing is, it's quite subtle. So it's not like it's suddenly going bang like that, and you notice, oh, and I can re-straighten it. What it will do is gradually pull it down, and you'll find that actually it's not working into the V, it's just going into a bit of a taper. So you want to just, and if that does happen, just use your fingers just to make it go back into shape. Okay, so get me.
So you'll do that at both sides?
Oh, no.
Just the one?
Just the one, for now.
For now.
So this is, because it's a lot of the same, so I don't want to stand here and show you me doing the exact same thing. So it's just woven out a little bit, so you can see that's gone into the sort of V shape.
So again, you've weaved the section there that's approximately the drop of the
Well, this is where
cabochon.
you'll find that what you do is you pop your stone in, and you have to keep doing this, so you have to keep putting your stone in and referencing it. And what will happen is that stone will go in and get locked in right on that last weave.
I see, okay.
Okay, so you'll do a couple of stages and you'll still be able to just put the stone in and out and just use it as a reference. So what I'm doing is I place that there, and what you can do is just literally, all I've done is just bent that over. So it's going to sit across the front of the stone. So I can play about with it so you're happy with how it is. And then wherever your wires are, you weave down till you're happy. So I've got that sort of just meeting the bottom of the stone.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right, so that's, then you take that back out. So now what we want to do is work on this set of wires. Now we're going to do the same weave again, but I'm going to very slightly change it, just a tiny bit.
Yes.
Just to give it a bit of a different look and add a bit of texture to it.
Okay.
See, I quite like layers of weaves over each other. I think it gives a really nice effect.
Yeah.
So at this point you will have to cut your wire from the reel, but allow yourself a tailor probably about a ruler's length, so 30 centimetres. About 30 centimetres. And this is
300 mil.
If you want to get technical. So this is just, thing is, I don't like cutting, if I was to cut it close and then think, oh, I wish I had that little bit of wire. So I just would rather have that little extra there.
Just in case.
And what I probably need to use that just to secure it to the frame a bit. So I'm going to start afresh now. So I've got, still working from the reel. And a little tip, these are really good. If you put them like this, you'll find them a lot easier to just sort of pull your wire from, rather than like this.
I see, yeah.
It's a bit more awkward. If you just do it like that.
Do you know what would be really good? Maybe if you pop like a pencil through it and then had that on something.
Yeah, I've seen some people
like
put them in like a little basket.
Yeah,
really with like a little mandrel or something going through it. And put a couple of them next to each other, and then you've just got it. It's perfect.
It's really easy, that's a good tip.
Okay, so taking my wire, little tail, just to anchor this wire on now. No, you don't really want to put that back, you want that to stay in it where it is, really, okay? So the difference with this one is when we anchor on, I'm actually going to just do 5 wraps. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then over to the other side, and then I'm going to do 5 that side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over to the other side.
So again, it's the same figure of 8 style and technique. It's just the top of each, instead of going around twice as you did previously, you're now going around 5 times on each. And what I'll do is a couple of these and you'll see why it gives a sort of a more lattice effect. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it should start to sort of form now. 2. And this is another one where, you know, watch your tension and hold the weave itself as you're doing it to stop these wires, because you do want them to have that slight V. 1, 2,
5. And if you take that time just to make sure you push that wire nice and close, if I, oh, there you go, you should see now it's starting to, it's got a nice little gap in between it, okay? And that's what we're sort of going for, that different effect.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, and that, we're going to do that all the way along. Get me? I'm so proud of myself.
I know, I'm happy for you as well, chick. Love a bit of pre-prep from you binding.
Helps sometimes. So again, you do that and you want it to be around about the same distance down. And what we've done with this one is I've just literally folded it over. So I'll show you on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to swap.
Yeah.
So you can see there, that's all been woven like that. And all you do is literally just manipulate it over like that. Just literally with your hand, bending it over, popping that stone back in. And then what I want is that to lay sort of over that weave a little bit as well.
And you're just checking.
Yeah, you have to check. Just keep checking that it's going to sit right. How, you know, like you like the look of it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's all I've done with that. Okay. And I'll show you on the ends of this one what we've done. So imagine I've wove that sort of section there.
Okay.
With this, what I'm going to do, I just haven't looking at that just to double check what I did do. This wire here that's coming down, we've got two. We've got one that's going to be on the outside. This one here is the outside one. This one's going to be on the inside. So I'm going to bring the wire that I left, that little tail.
The ruler length tail that you left earlier on.
Over to that one. And I'm just going to wrap it and do a little bit of a hand coil. Okay.
So this one that you're continuing on, this is the weave that you did the double loop on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the first one that I did.
First one, I
sort
see.
of like the underneath layer.
Yep. I love how you've layered them up.
And it's really secure as well. So I'm just going to hand coil that. Just, I won't do it all, but I would do it enough. Whenever you do any kind of a hand coiling, what I do is, again, just making sure it's all nice and neat. But I would weave it and then leave about 1/2 centimetre of bare wire. And that will enable me to get my pliers and actually turn it rather than trying to...
So you've kind of got the leverage there.
Because otherwise, if you coil right up to the end and then you try to spiral it, the coil will kind of get a big gap in the middle and it'll come off and it'll just be messy. So, and then, taking your pliers, just a little spiral. Oops. That's just like that. Little spiral, doesn't have to be too neat. And again, when you pop the stone in, that spiral is going to just sit like that against the stone. And that's just going to help, again, hold it in.
So every time you're finishing something off,
securing it.
You're checking,
and checking,
aren't you?
Check the stone the whole time.
And that's really important.
Yeah, it is. Okay, and then this wire, we're not going to worry about too much. We're going to do something with that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Move that out of the way. So we're basically back at this stage now. So I'll just get this one. So we've done that, and we've done our second layer. Sorry.
So when you say the second layer,
which
you mean the 5
the sort of
weave?
crisscross one, yeah, the 5 weave.
So when you're going over the top of the figure of 8, you go 5 and then 5 at the bottom one, don't you? So that's the one we've overlapped.
Yeah, the top layer,
in
effect. Okay, so I'll just undo this. Okay, so this is it in that same stage. So I've brought that wire over, that layer over. Yeah. Okay, and then what I've done with the wire is I've actually just, the continuing piece of wire, I've just coiled down the outside of the
structural 1 mil.
Yeah, the base wire. Okay, can I just have the pendant? So I do know, but I just sometimes need to look at it.
Little reminder.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just seeing where I'm at because on here I've actually put it, it's actually upside down on here. So it's actually, this is the bottom and this is the top.
I see.
So I'm just checking that what I'm doing is right. You know, when you do something, yeah, that is right.
And why did you put that one as the top and the bottom?
Basically, when I'd done the whole piece, you can do anything you like with it, and I just looked at how I thought it looked best.
Yeah, you just, that's
to be honest. So the reason I'm hand coiling this piece is because this one is going to join this one into another spiral.
Okay.
Okay, so that's been hand coiled. Okay, cut that. And then cut a little trim there. And then again, just a spiral again. So one of the, basically, the inside wire of the first layer and the outside wire of the second layer are just going to be supporting spirals.
Spirals are something that a lot of guest designers use for different reasons. I personally use them to cover up.
Hide your work.
Hide messy things.
Yeah, that's what they're
for.
But
you're not doing that on here,
Not
really.
on here, no. On here, they've actually got a roll. They're actually being a bit more structural.
Yes.
And again, so just putting that there, and it's just tweak it about and then just put it in position, okay? Yeah. That leaves you then with 2 wires. And those 2 wires are one from the top layer and one from the bottom layer, which means I can bring these together to weave, which means that it's locking these together and it's enabling me to finish off the whole piece, okay? So I'm gonna do this super quick, but it's exactly the same. Oh, I'm getting in a right old wiry mess here, aren't I?
Do you want me to? There you are.
Yeah, I just, again, a new piece, and what I'm going to do is, don't worry, you can still take that cab out, sort of squeeze it all together, and you need to hold this all quite close, because what I want to do is get this to look nice and quite seamless. I'm holding it really securely in my hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking a piece of wire, I'm actually just going to anchor that quickly. Obviously, you'll take more time. I'm doing this quite quick now. Pop that on there.
And this is back to your weaving 0.4, isn't it?
Back to my weaving, and then all I'm going to do is going back to that sort of first weave that we've done, and that's just going around it twice, over to the other side, round once, round again, over to the other side.
So this is the weave we did initially.
Yeah, and I mean, you can do any weave you like, really. This one's a little bit trickier because I want it to be quite close, so I don't, you've got the wires sort of in the way, but again, you want that sort of V shape. And take your time, and then what you would do is weave that all the way up.
Yeah.
I won't do it because it's the same. And then what will happen is you'll be able to just pop that into there, bring this round, and if that's woven, that will actually lock in, and you can tweak it about, but that will actually lock in up here. And then you just literally coil up these with the 0.4 and spiral again to set that bit in space. In space? Did I just say in space? In place.
In place.
In place.
I know exactly.
And that will actually lock the whole piece into one. So that's all it is. It's just about locking. Okay. So that's all that is. That's actually, then once you've done that, that's the actual cab set. Yeah. That's it, it's done in place. And then it's just about, I mean, if you want to take that off and show the back of it, you'll be able to understand what we did. All I did after that was set. There's still no way it could be a pendant or a brooch, but you can add, because you've got that frame there, you can still sew around it and add to the back of it. So if I just have the back of that pendant.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you can
just want to let you know that I've got low stock now on these 3 strands. You had your hematite, your rutile quartz, your tourmaline, and this cabochon that you have in here. Should have been over £20, but it's just £16.95. I am low in stock, and if you've got it in your basket, strongly suggest you check out now so that you can guarantee it's going to be yours.
What you can do also for a bit of extra security.
Hello to everyone who purchased those. I hope you have wonderful ideas planned for all of those stones. Sorry to say that again.
That's right. What you can do when you're weaving, what you can do is if you cut yourself enough wire off to do this section, you can, if you want extra security, just weave into the frame, because the nice thing about this weave is it's got gaps in between it. So you can just literally, I will move my hand now, thread that wire straight through the gap, and then just attach and just catch, just literally catch that base wire.
Yep.
And then continue your weave as normal. And that's now just that one little stitch. It's just secured it. And then obviously you have got to get this in. Yeah. So once you've got that there, see how it's a lot better now?
Definitely.
And then you would literally, it's got something to sit in. And then you would just do that, and it would just lock it all into place, just like that.
And continue.
Okay. And then for doing the sort of framework, you can see I've kind of sewn the, it's all the same weave, the go around once and then twice and over to the other side. And all I've done is cut cut off some lengths of the wire and just spiral, sort of done quite a nice open spiral on the outside. So literally quite open like this. And I've hammered it as well, just to give it a bit more strength.
Yeah.
And what I've actually done, see how the wire's going in a natural curve like this?
Yes.
I'm actually going against that a little bit.
That's very unusual.
I know, I'm fighting the wire. But what it's doing is, it just gives that sort of effect. And if you look there, that's going to give that sort of effect.
I see. It gives you your spiral off, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then you would just do that second spiral, and then you do another piece, and you just, so if I just do this quickly, and then you would just spiral that bit in. You do it neater than that. And then cut a second piece off.
This is of your 1 mil now.
Yep. About the same length, if not slightly smaller. But if you do one side, like I did, and then forget to cut the same lengths, all you do is exactly as I just did then, hold it against it and measure it.
Yeah.
So don't worry if you do one section, because obviously I was playing about with this. I didn't know where I was going. Yes. So I didn't prep for it. And then this piece here.
Kinking back.
Yeah. Just doing that open spiral, and then just giving it that sort of alternative curve. Take a bit more time than I just have. And then what you do is you put them both together like this, and then they kind of create that kind of effect. What you want is two to sit like that, and these two to be open.
Almost swan neck.
Yeah.
Like.
So you've got it like that, then you can start your weave here.
Just as you did before.
And then do here. Now when you get to this bit here, if you did the same weave, it's going to go a little bit funny because you've got a curve. So when on the outer curve, or the larger curve, wrap about 3 or 4 times, and then do normal 2 up here, and it will allow for that fact that you're going around the curve. And then you just have that open, tweak them so they're sat nicely, and literally position your cab onto those 2 wires, and then sew them with the wire.
And that's
around this little frame here.
As you did earlier.
As you did, and that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's just about playing with the shapes. I
like how you've done that and how you've created those pieces. And tell us how you did at the back.
So to get the back, because when I did them, they weren't quite long enough. Right. I cut another piece off. Same thing again. If you did want to go against the sort of curve, just do your spiral away from it.
I may well have slightly fallen over. I just sort of was stepping back and then kind of fell into her a little bit, and then trying to continue. But the most contagious laugh in the world, this lady.
Sorry. So if you just if I spiral away from the curve, you'll get that, it'll look a bit better. So if you imagine that this has been done like this, and this is sat down.
That's where your cab is.
Literally, I just added another piece, and I just added it here. I added it here. Yeah. And what it will do, and that will sit like that. So you've got to tweak them about, but then there's a little gap here.
Yes, I can see that.
And when I bound it together.
Pop it over that way for me a little bit.
Yeah. Oops.
Sorry, sweet.
That's all right. Right. So that's like that. And what you can do is when you start weaving it, you can just tweak them so that this one comes out higher than this one. Okay. So that's what gets you that more open weave. So this one's the spiral is going to be here, this one's going to be up here, and you can pull it once you start doing the weave. And then with this bit here, you just literally place it on here, and then what will happen, you place it just there, bind it together with the 0.4, and you see this little gap here, just do that weave in that tiny little bit, and then I've got that continuum wire there. So when you get here, just maybe crisscross over this just to make sure it's nice and secure.
Security.
And then I just hand coiled, and the reason being it is only a 1 mil wire, and although 1 mil wire is a thicker wire, it still is like it can still bend a bit. Yes. So by wrapping that 0.4 wire over it, it just enabled it to have a bit more strength. Yeah, I see. And all I've done for the back is just again another spiral, and those spirals will kind of interlock with each other. And the 2 spirals will do that with each other.
And that's your little clasp.
Yeah, and if you can't take it off, just twirl it around and then just undo it.
Undo it at the front. That's
So
really
that's pretty. And that's pretty much. And it's just about putting the shapes together and playing about with it. You don't have to do that exact same thing. You can have a play. But for me, what happened was by having that, it gave something for it actually to sit on like that. And then when you do it like that, you've got something nice to sew. And again, it's more support for the back of the stone. Not that you need it because it's held with those wires, but it's extra security.
It's always better to have more.
Yeah,
than this,
and if you wanted to make that into a pendant, what you can do, where we did 2 wires here, do 3. Yeah.
So
just go over and under the middle one.
Yes.
And just pull those 2 wires up, and then do the design, and then you've got wires for a woven bail.
You do bail. It's just to bend it back over, and then you have your bail. That was wonderful. It's such a stunning design. Thank you very much for showing us that, Laura Binding. It's a beautiful piece, and we do still have some of the gemstones available for you to get your hands on this. We have still got, your graphics are on screen for at the moment, ZRGC75. You're getting all of these goodies. Should have been over £20. It's just £16.95 for you today. And if you are interested in trying this out, but perhaps you want to work with a different colourway, or perhaps you want to make loads of these for your craft store, do go on to our website. We have plenty of cabochons on there, so you can get your hands on these. All you have to do is go to www.JewelleryMaker.com. You'll have a little look in the quick search. You'll go to shapes, and you will be able to see in there cabochon, and then these will come up for you. I would describe 3 of those as a cabochon. And you have got your rose quartz there. You'll be able to see all the info on it, all the measurements and everything, so you can have a go at it at home. Give it a little go. If you haven't been online before, why not try it out? It's very, very simple. Just press buy now, take you through, check it out, and it will be winging its way to you in a few days. Now, after the break, we have got our Wirework special. What this means is that not only I'm going to be bringing to you plenty of wire, I'm also going to be bringing to you some chunky, beautiful gemstones, as well as our 925 wire in the silver, the rose gold, and the gold. It's really new to us this year. That is coming up. Don't forget, send in all of your questions. They will be answered by the lovely Laura Binding in the next hour or so. Message in at JewelleryMaker.com or text us 60777. Start your text with JM Studio. Anything you may well want to ask her. Don't go anywhere, because it's our Wirework special.
You can now watch clips from Jewellery Maker on our YouTube channel. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
There are 2 easy ways to purchase from Jewellery Maker. You can watch our show on Sky, Virgin, Freeview or FreeSat, and call our free phone number where you'll be put through to our friendly help team who can place your order. Alternatively, you can go to our website and click the sign up button. Once you have filled in the required details, you can start shopping. You can watch the show by clicking the On Air Now button on the front page. You can also use our quick search tool and narrow down your results. Once you have found an item that you like, you simply click on the Buy Now button and the item will be added to your basket. Don't forget that you can add as many items to your basket per day for only 1 P&P. Enjoy shopping with Jewellery Maker. We all know you need the right tools for the job, so here at Jewellery Maker we have designed a kit to make sure you have all the essentials to join in with the fun. With round nose, flat nose and wire cutter pliers, as well as a reamer, tweezers and a bead scoop, you've got everything you need in one place for just $9.95. We provide the tools, you provide the skills. JewelleryMaker ships to the following countries. We offer 2 delivery services, standard and premium. So wherever you are in the world, JewelleryMaker are never far away.
Welcome back to JewelleryMaker. Thank you for joining me. My name is Becky and we're joined by the wonderful Laura Binding today. I've got your challenge for you. It's exciting, but first I want to show you something else really exciting. This is our selection of wire. This is 925 sterling silver wire, 1 metre of each. You've got 1 mil silver, 1 mil in your gold. You have got, oh sorry, it's 0.8. It's 1 mil on your rose gold and it is 0.6 on your rose gold here. Now I know they all look a little bit different, but it's just because we've unraveled them all slightly different way. But they are all 1 metre in length, all 925 sterling silver. They're going to be coming up for you really shortly. You haven't seen the rose gold and the gold before on the mids, or the day show in fact. It's only been on the late show once, I think, wasn't it? So you've got a chance to own those with us today. Now, I've got for you the challenge spellbinding. This, Kirsty says that she would like a piece of jewellery out of this, please.
What a shock. She's such a diva.
Well, I may as well have one too.
Right, okay,
Tom,
so put in your request.
Why
What
don't
do you
make
want?
something for Tom?
What does Tom want? What?
Something masculine, he says.
Shall I use purple and pink wire? Right, yeah. I'll try.
Now, we've got here 2 strands and you've got a wire as well. So, we're going to be giving you this exceptional strand of Labradorite. You know, in Labradorite, sometimes you'll get the gold shiller and you'll get the blue. In this one, you're getting both at the same time in the same flash. It's wonderful. This is a prime example as to why this gemstone won the favourite for 2 years running in our JewelleryMaker Awards. The faceting in these is a twisted coin and it's in this step effect. So you'll be able to see as I slowly spin some of these around, you can get each of the flashes across the surface. Each rectangle is just captivating the light, and then the shiller is following that around underneath. It's mesmerising, isn't it? When you get this home, you'll be able to see exactly, and I've got pops of pink in here, which is truly unusual too. Can you see the pinky pops? Almost copper goldy cones. So you've got in this strand 310 carats of your Labradorite twist faceted coins, and these are 16 mil. Now, the strand itself is really beautiful. I adore this type of Labradorite because this type of Labradorite is almost that grey Labradorite, the one that you can see the internal flecks and the internal glitters, and sometimes it almost looks like it's transparent in areas. That's the type that you're getting here. It's not the deepest dark, which is beautiful. That's why you're getting the mixture of the gold and the blue running through here. The Labradorite itself, I believe, is just going up and up in quality, and this is an exceptional strand. If you love it under these lights, you're going to truly fall in love with it at home when you've got real lighting. It's a special strand. I'm going to do a really special price on this today. Your current web price on this strand is £11.95 because it's your high quality Labradorite, because it's got this amount of labradorescence, this beautiful shiller underneath, this almost transparent like effect with this grey Labradorite. But we're going to do a cheeky deal on it for you today. We want you to have this strand, and we really can't wait to see what Laura does with it too. It's £8.95 for you today. Nearly £12 it was. It's £8.95. That's all you're paying for this today. It's an exceptional strand. It's a stunning gemstone. Just look at the power pops of colour play in this strand. It is truly exceptional. I am getting double, if not more, of this wonderful Labradorescence to my eye than you possibly are. It's truly a delectable strand. What do you think of this strand, Laura B?
I think it's nice because, like you say, when you think of Labradorite with all of the flash and chiller, it's normally the sort of darker shades. So sometimes when you get the lighter shade, you don't still get that chiller.
No.
But the first thing that caught my eye about that, and even now from being stood here, I can see I can see gold. I can see the pink, and the colour variety on it is really beautiful. It's really stunning. It really is. So I'm thinking I may have to make a ring or two for out of that. I think even just had them hanging as a pair of earrings wouldn't do anything too complicated, because you just don't want to take away that chiller.
No. Look at all of the colour pops you're getting, all splashed all over this. Honestly, I think this is such an exceptional strand. Tom suggested, could you possibly make a masculine ring out of this, do you think?
Would he like me to try to make a masculine ring?
Probably,
okay,
yeah.
I'll try to make him a masculine ring.
I think Tom's key is his subtlety.
Can Tom give me an idea of what sort of size
what
masculine,
kind of size masculine
ring would be?
Tom says big fat sausage finger size.
Okay, I shall see what I can do.
We'll find out in the break. This is just £8.95 for you today. Honestly, truly stunning, exceptional strand of this grey, beautiful Labradorite. I've only got a quarter of my stock left. We're looking probably, if you know, we were saying in general about manly sausage fingers, we're guessing it would be around an S.
About an S.
An R to S.
So I'll have a go.
Because he's tried on Kirsty's ring. That's why.
Okay, I shall see what I can do.
See what you can do.
No pressure.
This is the first one of the challenge for the wonderful Laura binding. Do stay where you are on the phone, because honestly, I've got how many left? I'm in the last chance saloon. I've got just under 30 left of these. I've still got people on the phone. If you're on the phone now, there's enough for you, but if you're not on the phone now, seriously get on now, because we've only got a few extra. £8.95. It's an exceptional strand. We've got as her second challenge, these are huge. This is your Botswana agate, and they are so large. 580 carats in total. The graduation on this is stunning. This one here, around 33 by 22 mil. That's only slightly smaller than those cabochons we were working with earlier on. These are so hefty. The wonderful thing with Botswana agate, of course, is the banding. This almost tree age lines that you get in with them. It's got a wonderful depth to it. It's got areas of opaqueness. It's got areas of transparency. There's such a difference in size here, because they range from just 26 by 15 mil. Now they are large. If I do, to give you an idea on the wrist, if you see, can you imagine that as a really wonderful cuff style bracelet, wire work with that? That'd be stunning. They are so large. So if you're thinking this is 33 by 22 mil, so it's just over 3 centimeters lengthwise and 2 up. It's really huge chunky pieces you're getting in here. Perfect for wire working, but you could use this for so much more.
You don't have to, even if you don't do wire work, you could still use that as a real nice big statement necklace. You know, you could have it, just have a couple of them as drops, and then, you know, and again, that would go with the stones from the first kit as well.
Yeah.
With the rutile quartz and all of the hematite and the tourmaline, that would just...
Same tones.
Yeah, would look beautiful.
Completely right. This would be lovely for soutache. Producer Kirsty's tried her hand at soutache the other day, and she's now a little bit obsessed with it. She just keeps yelling, soutache, soutache. She would soutache these. She loves them for that. They are 580 carats worth you've got of these Botswana agate. You've got, let's have a look, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 of these we have. So, 13 of these huge, genuine gemstones. Some of them are massive. Now, in one of my local craft stores that I've been into, I've seen large agates, just one. In fact, they would be around this size of the centre one here. I have seen those for, well, £12, £13 for a cabochon of around this size of an agate, possibly a little bit bigger. And that's just for one. Kirsty says she's paid the same just for one. You've got 13 on here. Of course, they're not all that size. But let's take a look at this astonishing price. £9.95 for the whole strand. That's working out at 76 pence per gemstone. 76 pence. That is wonderful. What do you think of that price, Laura B?
Oh, well, like you say, when you break it down and you're only using one stone.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, because I was talking to you earlier about the fact that I don't do a lot of gem heavy stuff. I tend to do more sort of focal statement pieces. Yeah. So for me, just one of those stones is going to be the centre of a wire wrapped pendant or cuff or something like that. Yeah. And you can think how far that's going to go. You can have a ring, you've got pendants, you've got cuffs, and even, like I say, they'd be good even if you just did beading work or anything like that. Macrame, they'd look really cool with a sort of macrame and have that as a centre. And then macrame sort of in a nice soft brown cord or something.
Love that idea. And some of them are completely large enough to do the T-bar rings. Have you seen these rings?
Oh yeah.
The T-rings.
Yeah, so you would do a double ring shank, and then it would go across the centre of your hand. So it'd be quite cool.
Look, that's a wonderful size for it.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with this, and as you say, even if you're just using one of them, for less than 80 pence each, £9.95. Of course, it is Laura binding. We can't just give you gemstones. We're going to treat you some wire as well.
Thank you.
This is your 0.8 100 metres. You adore 0.8, don't you?
I do, and that's why it was good when I had the chance last time to show exactly what you can do. I made 9 pieces of jewellery out of 10 metres of 0.8 wire. Yeah. That was it, you know? So there was nothing else added. So for me, it's just perfect.
It's a great one because it's strong, but it's malleable.
You can still, it's still a bit structural. You could use it for pendants and things like that, but it's a little bit softer, so it can move about a little bit more than you would want it to. But for making rings, it's ideal. It's perfect for ring making.
Will this be good for your masculine ring that you'll be creating, do you think?
Is that what somebody do you think that maybe it would be good for a masculine ring?
Possibly, it could be. You've got 100 metres worth in here of this antique bronze colour copper wire, and it is your 0.8. Let's take a look at the web price. It's £24.95. This is your Wirework special. So we're not going to stay at that price. Let's take it down. Wirework special, it's not £24.95, it's just £19.95 for you today. Get your hands on your 0.8 in this beautiful antiques bronze, and don't forget we will be going over to the wonderful Laura binding really soon, and we'll have a little look at what she's managed to create with these. So do you want to come and gather these from me, because you've not got yours, have you?
No.
Shimmy on over.
Shimmy on over.
There we go.
Thank you.
Now, we are in our Wirework special, so we will be asking some of your questions, just to interrupt Laura binding in a challenge, really. We will be asking some of your questions, so do keep sending them in. We'll be going to those intermittently over the next hour, and probably in our final hour also. Let's take a little look at a couple now, shall we? Okay. So, text us in 60777 JM Studio. This one says, hi Laura and Becky, what can you do with 0.25 wire? Love you both. Thank you so much, Maureen. That's so nice. What a lovely kick up. We love you too, Maureen. It's a really good question too. 0.25, it's thin.
It is thin, it is. 0.25 is the one that I would still use for all of the weaving. Might use it for 0.8 because it's not going to be so, you don't have to be so sort of firm with it, so you can get away with more. I use it for my wirework pendants, and there's a difference. Basically, when you use 0.25, it becomes more flush. So if you were doing a wire woven pendant or something, it's going to be really flush, and it's going to almost look like it's one complete piece. When you use a 0.4 wire, it raises up slightly, so it gives a more chunkier look. And also, you can see if you were doing weaves and set things like that, it's more distinctive. So for me, it's really good if you want to do close weaving as well.
Yeah.
So you could do that pendant with 1 mil and 0.25. You know, it's a good alternative. A lot of people, my mum knits with it. My mum's brilliant at knitting. She knits with 0.25. Yeah. So, you know, you can use it for 0.25 for knitting. You can use it for crochet. I wouldn't recommend it for Viking knit because it is really, really springy. Yeah. And just bear in mind, it takes twice as long to build up as 0.4 does.
Of course,
because it's finer, yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Maureen. I hope you have a lovely afternoon. I've got another one from Diane in Merseyside. Welcome, Diane. She says, Laura is amazing. I am so terrified of wire, even though I have all sorts of it. I think I need to come on a course. Can you tell me if there is any available? Not a problem. You've got some coming up really soon, haven't you? Yeah,
I do an intermediate wirework course, but we're also doing a cuff and bangle course and an advanced wirework course, which I probably wouldn't recommend if you need to build your confidence up for the advanced. All I ask, I mean, we do a beginner as well. That's run by Louise. So you know there are lots of courses out there for you. All I ask for in my intermediate class is we don't go too intermediate. We kind of keep it at a nice level. All I want is for you to be comfortable with working with wire. Yeah. And that's the only thing. As long as you're comfortable, and then we just work on building your confidence up. But, you know, Louise does a nice starter one as well. So, you know, there's quite a few. Just contact Wendy. She'd be the one to be able to help you with that.
Yeah. If you do want any more info, Diane, or anyone else out there, go on the JewelleryMaker website, JewelleryMaker.com. You'll see at the top there's a banner, and in the banner it says workshops. Click on that and it will give you not only a list of all the dates, but it will give you a brief summary of what's going on in each one as well. Have a little look on there and you'll be able to get yourself booked in and come and see us all. We will be going back to more Q&As in a moment, but let's bring you some extra goodies in our Wirework special. Where should we head to, Producer Kirst? Okay, let's do a sterling silver. Which one would you like to do? Should we do the rose gold? Okay, let's do the 0.8, shall we, in the rose gold. Okay, so you've only seen this once ever on JewelleryMaker before. It's a really new find for us. This is your 925 wire in your rose gold colour, and this is your 1 mil. Now, it's such a beautiful, delicate tone. You will get it delivered to you like this, although obviously neatly coiled. This is 1 meter's worth. Now, 925 sterling silver wire work. What would you suggest doing with your 925 sterling silver in your rose gold wire?
What gauge was it?
It's 1 mil.
For me, I would keep that for something a little bit special. You know, if you wanted to do, you could use it for a ring.
Yeah.
And you could use it for earrings, sort of if you wanted to just do like a nice link, and then have some nice, maybe a cluster of the higher end gemstones coming off of it. So
Yeah.
you've got that real, you know, if I was going to use my high end metals, I would make sure I use it with the right gemstones and make a real nice sort of piece with it, really. Sort of, you have only got a metre, so you have got to use it. This is one I would measure,
Yeah.
not do my happy sort of cut. But, you know, again, it's strong and you can hammer it as well. So there's lots, really.
It is it's a useful thickness, isn't it? And because it is 925, possibly working with your more special gemstones.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. It's quite nice to just be able to do something with that nice metal.
Yeah.
And all your gemstones are beautiful anyway, so you don't necessarily have to have like the higher end. But, you know, if you've got that sort of something a bit special that you've been thinking, what can I use that for? You've got that nice metal to go with it, and you can guarantee with people that have got allergies or anything like that, they're going to be fine with it.
Exactly, because if you were to create findings, say for your craft store or for someone who might have sensitivities, then using your 925 especially, it's less likely to affect them, isn't
less
it?
likely to have allergies.
So it's so new for you today. It's your rose gold colour. It's 1 metre, plated 925. Let's take a look at your price. £16.95. You've got a metre's worth of this. You've only ever seen it once on JewelleryMaker before in the rose gold colour. It's a really popular colour because it's the midpoint, isn't it, between gold and silver?
Yeah, it's got that lovely warm tone to it. I think
Yeah.
if you love the coppers and the sort of earthier colours, it's ideal.
Yes, definitely. £16.95. Do get this checked out of your baskets. Treat yourself to it now. It's wonderful that you're able to work with beautiful gemstones, create your own findings with 925. Creating a wire work wrapped ring, I think, out of this would be... It feel like a treat.
It would. It'd be quite nice luxury, wouldn't it, to be able to do that? And you probably would be able to do. Probably might even be able to get 2 sort of rings out of it as well if you were careful with it.
I think it's a beautiful, beautiful colour, and it's such a useful structural wire. £16.95 for a metre of this today. Now, if you like Laura binding, and let's face it, who doesn't, then you can take her home a little bit with this next one. This is Laura Binding's Cuffs and Bangles DVD. Now, on here you're going through a range of different cuffs, aren't you, in different styles. You do a ribbon bangle, you do a swirl, you do a spun bangle as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Weave bangle you're doing through it as well?
Yeah, we do a woven bangle.
How many projects do you have on this in total?
I think there's 6.
Yes, that's right.
I think there are 6. Yeah, we do like a bangle, we do a cuff, and there's like a bit of weaving, and 6, I think.
And it's, where would you say on the wirework spectrum do you have to be? Do you have to have done it for a few years to get your hands on this?
No, we've tried to do a little bit of a mix of projects, really. So I think like I said, as long as you're, for me, I think the key is if you're comfortable working with wire, just give it a go. Don't be sort of put off by it or scared, because it's actually broken down. It's quite simple. It's just sometimes you find yourself with lots of lengths of wire, and it's just about not being afraid of those lengths of wire. But I think you would be, any levels really could do quite a few projects on there.
Beautiful. I've just, let's get your pricing on this DVD, shall we? It's almost an hour's worth. It's just £4.95. You can stop, start, pause, go back. And it's lovely because sometimes I think with the DVDs it's quite handy for me, because some days I'll have mental blocks and I'll feel a bit creative possibly, but I don't know which direction I want to go in. Pop this on and it will remind you, it'll spark your inspiration. This is the type of thing you'll be getting on the DVD. This is the cuff that Laura did for us on our designer inspiration a couple of weeks ago. This is her wire work cuff with the beautiful tree of life on it. and it will be giving you the same sort of techniques. It's not this one in particular, it will give you the same sort of pieces on there. Shows you how to use the structural wire, how to weave across, how to create the shapes.
Yeah, we do a bangle on there as well. We do a couple of bangles. You know, we've got cuffs, but we've also got nice bracelets.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, oh, I don't want a big cuff, I don't do big statement pieces, there are still some nice sort of more gentler type of bangles on there as well that aren't so sort of full on, really.
Yes, I see. It's a beautiful, beautiful DVD. I remember when we launched it, we had to go at a few, we had a little look at some of them, didn't we? And they were stunning. It's £4.95 for you today. Now, sorry, I've just got to dive in. If you like, that's the wrong one. Say that to me again. It's not in there. No. Sorry, I'll be with you in a second. It was one up. So, here we go. I have got for you now these Fluorite ovals, and these will go perfectly with some coloured wire I have coming up later on. I know that you've all been asking for more coloured wire. I've got 100 metres worth coming up for you soon, and it would complement this perfectly. 220 carats worth you've got of your multicoloured Fluorite, the flat ovals, and these are 16 by 12 mil. You'll have a look, you can see all of the beautiful range of tones you're getting in here. There's lots of yellows in here, which is really unusual, isn't it? It's beautiful. You've got pops of pinks, you've got your purple tones, and of course you have the wonderful green flashes through here as well. Now, the name Fluorite itself comes from the word fleur, which literally means to flow, because of the low melting point of this. It has been used in things such as fluorescent lights as well, which is where they get their name from. It's a wonderful gemstone because it has such an impact, almost this colour change warming effect to it in some instances. What do you think about Fluorite?
I love Fluorite because I've said before, I love the variety of colours, because it's sometimes you get stones, and obviously you'll only get that one shade of colour. You know, if you get an amethyst, they'll all be purple. And, you know, but with that, you've got that lovely variety, and they all complement each other as well. But what you can do is create completely different looking bits of jewellery, because if you pick out the green ones and then the purple ones, it'll look like you've got two different gemstones, but you haven't. It's all the same one. And so I love the fact that you can see, like there, you can see the bands of colour going through it, the splashes of colour.
I think that's beautiful. I do love that. Look at that one, beautiful. So let's take a little look at your price on this today. It's 220 carats worth at just £6.95. They are flat back, so of course, Kirsty, you could see Tash these ones. £6.95 for you today. You've got lots of zoning through here. Some of them, it's quite brash, it's quite strong, but then some are almost a spider webbing effects, aren't they? Just scuttling through each gemstone. It's a really beautiful strand. It's just £6.95. Brilliant for your wire wrapping.
Perfect for a ring.
Perfect.
And like I said, like I was saying about the fact that you could use that whole strand to make just rings, and you would just have a really lovely colourful display of rings, and it will all be the same gemstone.
Definitely. But you can then, you're doing the same thing, but you're attracting so many people, aren't you?
Yeah. So
such a wide market. Now, I said to you a moment ago, didn't I, that this would be perfect with the coloured wire I've got coming up. 1 mil, 100 metres, and I told you it would go perfectly because it's purple. This is just yelling out for you to wire wrap. Now, the purple I'm getting is a beautiful, really aubergine purple in tone. I'm wondering if it looks a little bit darker to you than it does to me. It doesn't look to you at home as pinky as this purple is, but it really is. Imagine almost the perfect amethyst purple that you would think of. Yeah, it's that colour.
It's the kind of purple of a certain brand of chocolate.
Chocolate, exactly. It's that tone. It's a little bit more pinky than you're possibly getting it at home, just because of the lights and the cameras and everything. But think of a nice chocolate bar, and this is the colour you're getting. 100 metres worth you've got here of your purple coloured silver plated copper wire, and it's 1 mil. Should we take a look at your price? £27.95, because it's wonderful that you can get your hands on this really vibrant, beautiful purple. It's 1 mil, so it's structural. Imagine with a weaving wire, even with your weaves, you'll still get this pop of colour underneath, isn't it? But it's not £27.95. We can take a couple of pound off just as a little treat for you. £24.95 today. Even if you haven't got a weaving wire in this colour, you can still work with an alternate, can't you?
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
If you imagine if you use silver, would look lovely with it, make it nice and bright. But you know, you could use copper, because copper and purple go really beautifully together. And what you'll find, I've actually used soft pink as well, the baby pink that we do.
Yeah.
And what you'll find is it will change. So even if you put the two reels of colour next to each other, you might think, oh, I'm not sure. Just try it. Because I only know because I used, with my workshop, I was given them as my colourway once.
Yeah.
And actually we were all really surprised at actually how lovely the colours went together, and even the fuchsia pink, because they change their colours when they're next to each other.
Next to each other.
Yeah.
So get this home, give it a go next to the wires that you possibly already have in your stash. We've reduced it to just £24.95. Imagine this on your coiling gizmo. Imagine this with your beautiful structural braiding around it. It's a wonderful pop of purple, just £24.95 today. So springy, this one. Have a little look. This is 665 carats of your prehnite in these faceted slabs. They're ranging from around 18 by 20 mil all the way to 22 by 23. Now, prehnite itself, it was first discovered in South Africa, and it was discovered by one of the governors there, and it was actually named after him. And it's quite unusual that it was discovered in this area, because in the area that it was discovered there was lots of you know, national parks, lots of parks to go and view, and it's quite unusual to have such this green-like, almost park-like tone running through, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you think of doing with these ones, Laura B?
Or they would be a focal for one of my pendants, definitely. I would team that with antique bronze, because antique bronze, I don't know, I feel like a bit of a broken record when I say it, but it brings out the colours. Yeah. You know, those soft, lovely, because it's like because it is softer and it's sort of got more depth to it than you realise. The antique bronze just brings that colour out, and it really makes it pop. But then you could put it with silver and get a completely different look, and more fresher look as well. So it's just because it's the more softer, muted colour, that's why I tend to go for the earthier colours. But it looks beautiful with amethyst. Yeah. But, you know, it looks lovely with all of those colours: amethyst, smoky quartz, lemon quartz, all of those colours together. That's my favourite colour combination.
It's sort of springtime fun.
Yeah.
Full of the joy.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right though when you say about working with the different coloured wires with this, because actually on our chainmail special yesterday, where I had Debbie Bulford, she created a piece and she had made her jump rings out of a gold, and she had one gold way with, I think it was sort of browny toned, and then another same coloured wire with green, and everyone's like, why have you got this wonderful like yellow wire from? Because it does change it completely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does. So do try it around at home, even if you think, oh, I don't really like working with green and gold. Do give it a go.
Best combination.
Definitely give it a go. Let's take a look at your web price on this today. It is £11.95, which is a wonderful price for this, because the carat weight is so hefty. We're not going to stay at that though, of course. It's going down for you now. Let's take a look It's a stunning £8.95 for you today. It says to enhance your dreams, and I think you'll be dreaming of jewellery when you get this home. £8.95. Imagine mixing it with those beautiful amethysts. In fact, with that wire that we've just had on.
Yeah.
The purple wire.
Yeah. You get a real nice sort of floral kind of piece with that, wouldn't you? If you think of like weddings and things like that, you know?
Yes, I think that's a beautiful idea. That is a great saving for you today. 665 carats for just £8.95 of the beautiful Prehnite. Now, I have got for you here. Now, we had that question earlier about this gauge, didn't we? Who was it from? Was it from Diane?
Margaret?
No, it wasn't Margaret. No.
No.
Anyway, whoever. Oh, I know, it was Maureen, because she was lovely, because I remember she said she loved us both.
I knew it was the M.
You had the question, didn't you, earlier on about what is the 0.25 for? We've discussed it, we've said it's perfect for weaving, you can still weave with it, especially if you're working with 0.8, and we're bringing you some now. This is in your beautiful copper colour, 100 metres worth of your 0.25. Now, I have to admit, I weave with this a lot. I know you're more of a 4, aren't you? More of a 4
No, I
mil.
use them both. I use them both.
both?
Well, it depends what look I'm going for. So like I said, if I want that really sort of flush, sort of intricate looking, like it's all one piece kind of look, then I will use the 0.25, but I will also use the 0.4 if I want that more chunky look.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And I think for me anyway, starting out with wire work, although it's a bit kinks a little bit easier, doesn't it? But when you take your time, because you're concentrating so much, it makes it much easier, doesn't it?
The trick with that is to keep it on the reel. You know, with all of the techniques I've shown, I don't cut the wire from the reel. If you're going to cut it from the reel, that's when you get yourself in a tangle with it.
Yeah.
But if you keep it attached to the reel, and these reels have got like, they've either got holes, like 2 little drill holes, or they've got like a little sort of groove just here. And all you do is pull off the length of wire that you want to just sort of work with, and just literally just pop it in there, and then that wire is not going to spring anywhere, and it's going to stay where it is. And then when you need a bit more, you just undo it, get a little bit more, keep it, and then pop it back in there. And if you've got the drill hole ones, just feed it through the drill holes, and then that will help you to be able to control that wire, because it can't go as far. So, and as I said, if you can do as much as you can on the reel, do it that way.
Much easier, isn't it? So you've got this wonderful 0.25 mil wire, 100 metres. Let's take a look at your price. £9.95 for 100 metres worth of this today. If you are starting out with wire work, you might find that you haven't quite got the wire hands yet that's used to the higher up gauges. Well, this is perfect for your weaving. Give it a go, take your time with it, have a bit of fun. It's just £9.95 today. Now, this one is your copper colour 1 mil wire, going perfectly with the previous one. We've just had the matching colour. This is more structural. This is your 1 mil. So if you are starting out with wire work and you're interested in getting into the weaving, you can weave that 0.25 over this one to create those looks we've just seen from Laura B. 100 metres here of your copper coloured wire. It's 1 mil. It's structural yet still malleable. Let's take a look at your price. £27.95 should be the price. It's Wirework special. Let's take it a little bit lower for you. The price is not £27.95. Your price today is £19.95. That's a whopping saving for you today for your 1 mil. It's wonderful for structural. It's still malleable though. It's got this beautiful tone. Whopping saving there. Just £19.95 for you today. Now I've got a lot of the wire workers' favourite. It is your ring mandrel. Now this is what you'll be getting. You're getting your little carry pouch. You've also got your metal ring mandrel here. you'll be able to see along the side of your mandrel you have the letters. Those are of course the European sizings for your rings. However, don't think that this is just for measuring your rings to see how large they are for you. You can actually size your rings on here, you can work around it, you can hammer onto this, you can create wonderful loops and wire loops with this as well. You can create findings on this as well, can't you, Banding?
Yeah, you can do your own ear hooks and clasps, and also you can do your own if you want to do like little links, sort of like little circle drops, and you can hammer them, and you can, it gives you again consistency, because you know obviously you can sort of find the size that you like, and then you can just do them all that same size and it will look nice and consistent. So yeah, and again, just to mould, if you just want to do a nice sort of wavy shape or something like that, you know, you can just use that as a guide.
You can just mould it over the top.
Yeah.
And you do get the handy carry pouch as well, which you use too, don't you?
I do.
You have lots of little bits and bobs in there. You have jingling away. So you can keep other things in there because there is plenty of space. Your web price on this today is £8.95. That's the price it usually is, but let's take it lower for our Wirework special. Your price is not £8.95. Add it to your order at this price. It's just £6.95. If you haven't got one of these before because you think, well, why am I going to need it? I already know what a ring size I am. Or, you know, perhaps you worked your rings around a spoon handle or something like that. Do get this, because the amount you can do is quite shocking, really. It's £6.95 for you today. That is it. We're going to bring you now your hammer and your block. This is your steel block and your chasing hammer. We're going to do these separately for you because some of you might already have the hammer, some of you might already have the steel blocks, but we will do them separately. Let's bring your steel block to you first. So this is a weighty little thing. If you haven't opened up your baskets yet because you're thinking, oh, it's halfway through the day, I've missed out now. No, do not worry, you haven't, because honestly, the postage and packaging on this steel block alone is something really exceptional. Who was it? Was it Gemma Crow?
Yeah.
Gemma Crow said the other day she posted one to someone and it cost her £6.50. So it's just £2.95 for you today. Just £2.95 postage and packaging on this today. I can never get this open. This is your steel block, which is 4 inch by 4 inch, and it's heavy duty. It's great for hammering onto, because not only does it mean that you're not going to, thank you very much ladies, does it mean that not only are you not going to be wrecking your tabletop, but it also gives you the power back. It also gives you the work back. Yours will be a bit shinier than this one, just so you know. This one's been really overworked over the last few years, but it's great. Nothing can go wrong with it.
No, and it won't affect it.
No.
No, still does the job.
Let's take a look at your price on our steel block. Should be £7.95, which is a wonderful deal because it does the work for you. If you're working it onto a wood surface, even one you didn't really care about, because of the way the surface moves, it's not giving you the power back, and that can actually ruin your pieces. Of course, that's not what we want at all. Your price is not £7.95 today, it's just £5.95 for your steel block. You've got £2 off there. It's pretty much your postage and packaging covered, and even if it wasn't at that price, it's a wonderful deal, and at that weight as well. Treat yourself to your steel block. Of course, if you are going to be working with a steel block, you may well also wish to use with your hammer, and I have got your chasing hammer here now. Now you'll notice that one end of this is your ball head and one is your flat surface. Your flat surface is absolutely perfect for changing the composition of your wire, possibly hardening it, add thickness to it. And this one's very much about adding texture to your pieces, almost a vintage feel, giving it a bit more organic feel to it. And you have got this longer handle here, which is perfect because it means if you want to get in really, really close, you can. Or if you don't want to overwork, if you want to be nice and delicate and you want the hammer to do the work itself, you can hold it really near the end. It is a wooden handle, which means if you are working on the steel block, you're not going to get that reverb through. So it's for your comfort as well as anything else. Let's take a look at the price on your chasing hammer today. £6.95 is your current website price. Let's take a look at what we can do with that price though. £4.95 is all you're going to be paying today. That is a real deal. £4.95 for your stainless steel chasing hammer DFGX35 today. Now let's do you another sterling silver wire. Which one do you want to do? The other rose gold one. So I brought to you a moment ago the 1mm, and now this is your thinner gauge. It's your 0.6. You're getting a metre of this again, and this is your rose gold colour. You'd be able to create some beautiful looks with the 1mm and this 0.6, wouldn't you?
Sorry. Yeah, you would. Sorry. Yeah, you can make your own findings then, can't you?
Definitely.
Because you've got that perfect combination.
And because of the mixture you can do. Could you weave with this?
You could. It's harder, but you can weave with 0.6. It's hard. You just got to take your time and go a bit slower.
Go a bit slower.
And really make sure you're pushing nice and neat. And it's going to be a bit harder on your hands. But then sterling silver is actually a softer metal and easier to use than plated metal anyway.
Yeah, it is much more malleable, isn't it?
Yeah.
The wonderful thing with your sterling silver as well is when you warm it, it can just straighten out better than your normal wire, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
It's easier to use. It's definitely easier to use. So it's good if you, you know, if you think, oh, I'm not very good with wire, I need to get more confident, it's actually going to be a lot easier to use because it is a sort of more malleable wire.
So you've got a metre of this. It is your 0.6. Let's take a look at your price on this today. £7.95. We had your 1mm on earlier for £16.95. This is just £7.95 for you today for your 0.6. It's rose gold. It's only the second time we've ever had this on JewelleryMaker. Treat yourself to it today. Add it to your 1mm so you can create some beautiful, symmetrical and high-end luxury pieces. Just £7.95. I've got for you something that would actually go beautiful with the rose gold. I've had for you some Sodalite slabs. Sodalite is renowned for this willow colouring going through it. These beautiful blue and white areas. Again, perfect size for some wire wrapping. The faceting on these, you can see the large table split, and then they facet around the outside. It's giving it a really interesting look. 550 carats worth you've got here of these faceted slabs, and they are 30 by 20mm. Now the blue and white colour itself is known to be very calming, it's known to be very restful and relaxing, but that's almost juxtaposed to the size and the shape of these because they're these large slabs. It's a wonderful mix you're getting with this really versatile stone because of course it's very much a unisex gemstone, but also the faceting itself, it's not overboard, it's not over the top, it's just subtle but still impacting when the light flashes along the surface of it. You've got a real wealth here at 550 carats worth. Sodalite is a beautiful gemstone, and I don't see it that often in large slabs of this size, 30 by 20mm. So it's wonderful you can get your hands on it today for under £10, way under. Your price today for this entire strand is £5.95. That's all you're going to be paying, and you're getting a wealth on here. It's a beautiful gemstone. It's £5.95, 550 carats worth. It's so calming, relaxing, and it's a very soothing stone, Sodalite. and it is just £5.95 for you today. I've got my final 295 sterling silver wires for you, and here is your 1mm in our silver tone. We've already said it's structurable, but it's much more malleable than your usual. Is it still okay for hammering?
What gauge was it?
1mm,
yeah.
You 925.
Yeah.
Does it react in any different way?
Nope, it's fine. In fact, it's probably better because it's got no plating on it. So it's, you know, sometimes if you hit plated wire a little bit too hard, you can take that plating off. But, you know, because it's not plated, it would be fine. But just go gentle with it still. You know,
of course.
Don't want to break your sterling silver, but yeah, it's fine.
It's 1 metre you're getting, it's 1mm. It's got the strength to it there. Let's take a look at your price on this today. We know already, don't we? It's £16.95 for you. Same as the rose gold that we brought to you earlier on, £16.95. You've got a whole metre's worth of it here. I've got a question actually in the Q&A about the 1mm. Let's read this out. This is from Linda in Hampshire. Hi Linda, how are you? Laura, please would you use this 1mm 925 for bales in enamel or polymer clay? Many thanks for the marvellous demos. Really good question. You would definitely be fine to use it with polymer clay. The enamel, I think you would be okay to use it. Enamel gets to a real hot temperature, so the only thing is I'm not sure how the metal would react with that. Sometimes when you torch fire sterling silver, it will go black, and then you need to use a pickle to remove the heat scale in effect. I don't think that would happen with enamel, but I'm not sure. I could always have a little, I've got enamel at home and I've got some sterling silver wire, so I'll have a little test and I'll let you know. Beautiful.
But definitely polymer clay.
Polymer clay is fine because you can bake it in the
bake
oven.
It. It's a low oven as well.
And it will be a low oven, of course, with your polymer, so it's perfect to use. And for jewelled enamel, you can do it too, just because the temperature is relatively low and it's not. Yeah. So you should be able to do it with that absolutely fine. Thank you very much for that question. Let me bring to you your final 925 wires, shall I? This is in your gold colour. Again, only the second time you've ever had this on Jewellery Maker. It's your gold colour in your 0.8 wire. So the 0.8 itself is what you're using now, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's perfect if you want to make a ring, and that would go beautifully with these Labradorites. Can you imagine that with that?
Oh my goodness!
You would make such
bring that gold flash out of them.
Yeah, because some of them have got. I'm actually looking at them, and some of them have got just gold flashes going through them. So if you imagine if you had one of those with that, it just look gorgeous.
What a really standout ring.
Yeah, it would be beautiful. Definitely be eye-catching.
You've got 1 metre's worth here. Let's take look at your price. 925 is gold plated. £11.95. It's 0.8. This is plated in gold already on top of your luxurious 925 sterling silver. BKPO 70. That's your price on this today. £11.95 for you. Now it is our Q&A time, so we'll just squeeze in a few more questions. If you have got any questions, we'll try and fit some in at the very, very end of the show when we go over just before the challenge. So do message us in. Let's do a couple more texts just whilst we're here, shall we? This is from Lisa in Berkshire. Hello. She says, hi all. The Cuff and Bangle DVD is amazing. I'm not confident with wire, but each step is broken down and my confidence is growing. Maybe confident enough for the Wall of Fame someday. Cheeky smiley. That is from Lisa. Thank you very much, Lisa. I think that makes a really good point, because the DVD is step by step, isn't it?
It is, and it's broken down. There's lots of stages. You know, you can stop, you can pause it, and it's all referenced, and you can just go back to that one project. You know, I mean, I've even gone back. Sometimes someone said to me, "Oh, that project that you did on DVD 1 or something." I've gone back and watched it because I need to refresh my memory sometimes, because you know we do so much, and it's sometimes nice to go back to what you feel comfortable with as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely just practice and keep going for it. I'm glad you like it.
Oh, We have still got some of those available as well at the moment. Now, we have had a question from someone called Natasha. Hi Natasha, we can't get your text screen up, but she wants to know if we could have the 0.6 in copper. We don't. We don't have it in the copper. However, we do have it in the silver and gold. So we'll do it really quickly now. I've got the gold colour 0.6. Yeah. 0.6 gold. Let's squeeze this in for you now. Sorry we've not got the copper colour in, but we have got the golds in at the moment. We'll do you a great deal on this just to make up for it. This is 0.6, 100 metres worth of your gold colour. Your price should be £19.95. That's the price it is on our website at this moment in time. However, we're doing you a little deal. Let's take a look at the price. It's not £19.95. It's going down to just £14.95. I like that one a lot. £14.95. That's a great saving for you today. 100 metres worth. That would keep you going for ages. Yeah. So many pieces you could create with that, couldn't you?
Definitely. And if you love doing the gizmo, it's perfect. It's ideal for gizmo. Perfect for gizmo.
So £14.95 for you today, that's all you pay. Now, after the break, we are coming back to the wonderful Laura Binding, and we're going to be having a look at her second designer inspiration. It's really warm, and it's got a wonderful layering up effect, and it's got this gold tone running through it too. It's got the gold 0.4, so if you're trying to get your hands on 0.4, we sold out of the silver just now, haven't we? So do get your hands on the gold at 0.4. Now, if you are interested in having a little look at what we have got coming up, how would you describe your piece that you have coming up next?
I think it's very wearable, sort of everyday wear really, and it's organic, it's easy. It really is easy, it's effective, but it's easy, so it's something that it's going to get your eye, catch your attention, but actually it's going to be really quite easy for you to do, and it's very versatile, I think.
Beautiful, it's really eye-catching, it's absolutely stunning piece. If you are interested in what we're going through here today with the designer inspiration, if you are interested in looking into wire work more and you do want to continue or maybe just explore your jewellery making journey, well, this advert break is going to tell you exactly how you can do that alongside us in our workshops. Do have a little look at this. If you are interested, it'll tell you exactly how to get in touch with us to do with that. After the break though, join us for more of our designer inspirations and our second piece from Laura.
Join jewellery maker and specialist guest designer Louise Jacobson for our basic wirework course. This class is suitable for complete beginners who wish to learn simple wire wrapping techniques to create stunning structural designs. Louise will teach you all the essential skills to get started, including basic spirals, double connectors and much, much more. The full course includes a range of different wire gauges, a bead scoop, use of all relevant tools, a buffet-style lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studios, a chance to meet the presenters, and a visit to our Gemstone Museum. All of this for just $69.95. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655. Jewellery Maker, bringing out the designer in you.
Today I've been on the Wirework for Beginners course and it's been really helpful to me. I've bought wire and I've bought tools and not really had the confidence to use it because I'd feel like I was wasting it. So to come along and be shown exactly what to do and have one-to-one tuition has been brilliant for me, and it's really given me the confidence to go ahead with my jewellery making now.
Jewellery Maker course gift vouchers are now available. You can choose from a bronze, silver or gold voucher. Each voucher is worth a different amount that entitles you to put towards a course of your choice. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
Gripping the end of the wire with your round nose pliers, make a small loop. Then, taking your flat nose pliers, place the loop in the jaw of the pliers and press down. Slowly bring your wire round in a half circle motion. You'll need to do this bit by bit and tease the wire into place. You may need to keep adjusting your pliers. Repeat the process until you have your desired effect.
Join guest designer Louise Jacobson for our Wirework Rings DVD. This DVD contains a step-by-step guide on how to use a ring mandrel, create single and double stone rings, cluster rings and much more. Get the inspiration and help you need to create your very own handmade jewellery. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre. Get creative with JewelleryMaker.
Welcome back to Designer Inspiration. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, we're going to be going over to Laura binding really shortly. You okay? What's wrong?
I'm trying to just quietly put my stones down.
Oh, are you?
Clunk, clunk.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. Scream and shout. We've got going over to Laura binding in a little moment. Going to bring you first off, as we did before, the gemstones. And then I will bring your wire to you after that. Now in here you are going to be getting 3 strands. You've got 250 carats of your pyrite in these plain rounds, and this is around a 30 centimetre strand you've got here. These 8mm, again, are really workable. People love 8mm, don't they?
Yeah, and again, this is part of the reason I didn't worry too much about the fact that I hadn't done lots with the first bundle, because everything I did with this is what could be done with the other part of the first bundle.
Yes.
So you can create the same look but just different colourway.
Mix and match.
Yeah.
That's a really nice idea. You've also got in here, I love the pop of the green. And because it's faceted as well, it's so eye-catching. This is, of course, your green colour quartz, 80 carats worth. This is 6mm and it's a 36 centimetre strand, so a great length strand on this one in particular. And as you say, it does just kind of work with the pyrite because they have the same sort of hues to it, the same sort of tones, but a more metallic manner, isn't it?
Yeah, but they just all go. They have got that kind of vintage look and feel about them as well, because of the shade of the green. It's got that vintagey kind of feel to it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine your nan sort of bringing out that sort of normally glass, but that colour.
I know exactly what you mean. It has a vintagey feel, and then you have this wonderful jet bold onyx, and these ones again are in your plain round, and they are 6mm, 30 centimetre strand on this one also. So you have 2 30 centimetres and 1 36 centimetre strand. Let's take a look at your price on these today. £15.85 is your current web price for these Egyptian inspiration gemstones. But let's give you a couple of pounds off, shall we? It's not £15.95 for these 3 strands today. It's just £12.95 for you. Get your hands on these gemstones. We'll be bringing you the beautiful wires later on. I've got the 0.4 and the 1mm coming up for you later on that just accompany these gemstones in particular really beautifully. So I'm going to head over to you now if you're ready. Oh, you're dashing around. Do keep sending in your questions for Laura binding. She will be able to answer some of those for you. Text us in JM Studio 60777. Alternatively, go to JewelleryMaker.com and we'll be asking you more questions throughout the time, won't we?
Go for it.
Definitely. So
my little bundle.
let's take a look at your pieces first before we have a look at, I don't know, it looks like you've got a little endangered animal in there or something.
I know.
Beautiful. You've made 2 pieces with this, but we're going to be looking at how to make this one, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I literally, because I was saying to you, like, for me, having this combination of wire, I would do my wire woven pendants, is what I do. Obviously, you could create the same look for the first pendant, but in a different colourway.
Yeah.
So you could still use these to just create a different look. I was struggling trying to break out of my natural for what I would do as a pendant.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a pendant just to say, actually, you know, I always say I would make it into a pendant. So actually I've made it into a pendant. I'm not going to show you the pendant. But I've made it into a pendant. But also I showed that you can get completely different looks using those wires, you know. So even if you don't do that type of work, because not everybody does, you can still create a nice, completely different kind of look, a more simpler look, but still just as dramatic. With different techniques, so that's what I was going for.
I see. Beautiful. They have got that lovely mixture. Yeah. And of course you couldn't have done it without these, could you?
I couldn't have done it without those, no.
I'm going to bring you these for you right now. It's your 0.4 mil, 100 meters. Now this is your 0.4. We haven't got it available in your silver right now. When we brought it to you silver earlier, sold out instantly, and this one will be no different. 100 meters of 1 mil and 100 meters of 0.4 in your golden color today. £42.90 is your web price at this moment in time. Enter that code WJGC51. Think of it as a discount, because if you enter that code today, instead of paying £42.90, you will only pay £34.95 for you today. That is only that's all you're going to be paying for these 2 today. It's your 1 mil. So of course that was what, £27.95 by itself normally, just for the 1 mil, and you've got 100 meters of your 0.4 as well for just £34.95. It's a great deal for you today, but this is going to be popular. So please, at home, do not think for one moment that you can wait until the end of this demo. Last time we sold out within the first 20 minutes. So please get your hands on this now, because an hour ago when we were working with these 2, they sold out within 20 minutes. So do treat yourself to it now. Do check out your baskets. I know we had some messages sent in earlier on saying, oh no, I didn't check out my basket. I did warn you. You have been warned. Do check out your baskets. It's your only way of fully guaranteeing, and you don't have to pay any extra postage and packaging for it. It's just check out as many times as you want, and you only have to pay £2.95 all day for postage and packaging. So get your hands on this, so that you can create these beautiful pieces we'll be looking at today. Okay. So tell me what your endangered species is. It's very mystical.
It's really not that exciting. I feel like I'm going to let you all down now. Okay. It is literally everything I had left over.
Wow!
And my little, what can I make?
That is a lot.
I know. I just want, and so I thought, rather than trying to put it onto a little bag, and I just have this little, this is an old felt mat that I have. I just literally fold it all up and just used a piece of wire to wrap it
That's like a little present. I love that. And she's managed to make both of these with that. Yeah. And you've even bejeweled it around the back of one of them.
Yeah, yeah, it goes all the way around on the actual necklace piece. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So all of those goodies left over. Yep. Whereabouts are you going to start on this?
Well, first of all, we're actually going to start off by creating the actual central part of the necklace. So the actual sort of swirl effect, really. Normally when I do swirl work, or whenever, a lot of us, we tend to just have one long piece of wire. I mean, it's one thing I tend to do, and then just create lots of spirals and form it into that shape. I've done it a bit differently this time, because I thought actually I'm going to just try, because I was playing about, see what would happen. So with this one, we've layered it. So I'm just going to do about 3 or 4 different sections.
Yeah.
And then we're going to layer it together. And then that way you can control the way that it's going to turn out.
I see.
So obviously when you're just doing it and you're just randomly doing it, you still get a really nice effect, but you can't control it as much as, say, with this. If you don't like that bit, it looks a bit too swirly there, you take that layer off.
I see, and mix.
So you can, and put another piece on. So I'm just was playing about with different ideas, really.
Okay.
So for this, it's literally, this is a lot of just freeform. This is really good if you are having a bit of a mojo block and you're thinking, what can I make? It's good because you don't have to think too much about it.
No.
And it's quite relaxing. So I'm just going to cut a length of wire off, probably about just over 1/2 metre. Okay. And to start off with, I've got my wire doing its natural curve. And what I'm going to do is just bring the ends together. I do actually try, believe it or not, to make this a little bit symmetrical. So whatever I do on this side, I'm going to do on this side, sort of. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go 100%, but it gives you a bit of a guide.
Okay.
So I've got almost like a teardrop shape here. Oh, sorry. Lay that down. Teardrop effect here. And then all I'm going to do is, a lot of this is just freeform. And that's the good thing about this wire, it's very malleable, you know, it's not, you can sort of manipulate it really well. It's just forming that sort of effect there. And then I'm going to just do the same on the other side. Now I'm not measuring, I'm just kind of going by eye. So you get that sort of effect. And what you can do if you want is go around that again. So literally, if I show you that.
That's nice.
It's literally a spiral like that.
Yeah.
If I show you on the other side, I've done my loop. So I'm just bringing it around again. Bringing it around again. You can see how it's sort of symmetrical as a piece of random wine could be.
Yeah.
If you find it's a little bit longer on one side, you can trim it so it's equal, or you can just, not let it bother you. And then I just sort of do again a nice sort of open spiral on the end. Okay, so and on the other side. Again, so you've got sort of like that one little piece. If I lay it down flat, you can see it's just random. It's
Wonderful.
Not made, you know, it's just a guide.
That's great. Kirsty, what did you say then, sweetie? Kirsty, what did you say about the stock? Okay, I have got half of my stock gone on this bundle now, so please do get your hands on it. Half my stock is gone in total. It's 100 metres of your 0.4 and 100 metres of your 1 mil as well. And it's just reduced in price for you today. It's just £34.95, but half my stock is gone. Imperative that you check out your basket at this point.
It's super spoiled today. You've had the copper, the gold, and you've had the silver.
I know.
Imagine
soup. What a mix you can make with that.
Yeah, you can, and you know the mixed metals are really in at the moment, as Natalia did the other day with the gold and the silver. So
they're really fashionable, aren't they?
Just doing the exact same here, but this one I've cut longer, so exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is just create a few more swirls with the excess wire, really. So just you could do one on its own. It's going to look a little bit like, oh, this is a bit messy, but it's going to come out really nice when you layer it all together. Okay. So, and just, you know, you could even do one more. This is one that, like I say, do one side and then try and do the other side as well. So whatever you've done on that side, just try and mirror on the other side. You can see how easily this is being used.
Yeah, really simply.
And again, just spiral at the end. And don't worry about these spirals if you're thinking, yeah, but I'm going to have all of these open sort of ends of wire, because they will actually go to the top of the necklace anyway.
So you don't have to worry.
No, and the other thing you can do is you can actually put beads on them, and that will soften. When we start sewing the beads into them, they will sit on that anyway.
I see.
So now you can sort of start to build it up and have a play. And even though you've made your shape, you can still manipulate it. So you can start to see that's now starting to form quite a nice sort of random shape.
Yeah.
And I quite like, if you wanted to take it a little bit further, you could weave inside that section there, put a little drop, you know, it's just playing about with shapes. So I've got that as it is. But what I want to do now is create like a sort of frame for it. So I've only got those two at the moment. And what I can do now There's another one, but I'm going to do slightly different this one.
Okay.
And again, I'm just cutting.
Same length?
Well, yeah, just about. And with this one, I'm actually going to do the two ends together, like we just did. But I'm actually going to continue them around so that it goes like this.
So into a more upward shape now?
Yeah, so when I lay that down here, I'm going to be able to start actually creating that frame effect. So with this, I'm actually going to want my spirals to go inwards because I don't want it to go outside the frame. Or you could, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's up to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just completely organic.
It's up to you.
And again, and you can place this and think, am I happy with how it's working? And you get, you know, you can control the size of it and the actual design of it as well. You could keep it quite, looks quite sort of ornate like this, more ornate than that one does, but it's because it's got more sort of swirls in it. So,
so the more swirls you want, just the longer the wire and the more ornate it can.
Well, yeah, I'm going to show you now because obviously looking at this, you can see lots of gaps.
Yeah, it's quite bare, isn't it?
Yeah, so what we can do, so if I'm just going to finish this bit off, and these can be done really quickly. This bit's the quick bit, it's the actual sewing. That takes the time really. So sorry, I'm just forming that around like that. So I can put that there.
Yes.
And again, I'm just going to put spirals in the end.
So spirals are always ending at the top of the necklace.
Yeah. And then that way they can all sew together, and one of these will become your sort of link for your chain.
I see.
Okay. So if I place that on there like this, I'm getting an idea of it now. It's looking a little bit sort of more full. And then if you think, right, okay, I'm still thinking this bit here and here's bare, what I'll do is cut a smaller piece of wire and just do a bit of an abstract one. So start off with a spiral on this one. I'm going to start off with the sort of end. Okay, and then I'm just literally just going to do a few swirls throughout the whole piece. So I'm just going to literally, if you like to use your pliers and you want that sort of consistent look, you can.
And go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so it's just literally double wrapping around itself. That's all I'm doing, and going along, going opposite direction if you want. You don't have to double wrap it all the time, you could just keep it like that. And then finish off with a spiral. Okay, and then what you can do is start to place it.
Layering it
up
as
so
you go.
Then if you, again, like you can stretch it out a little bit, and you know, you can just keep going, and if you think actually that needs more, then just add another piece. So even if you start sewing it and think, oh, I need another piece, just cut it and add it in. So there's your sort of main frame as such.
Just to let you know, I've got less than 20 left of my Designer Inspiration gold wire bundle. That's with your 0.400 mil and your 1 mil, 100 meters of that. You've got to get it now. Get it now, because I have 19 of those left in stock. They are at a great price today, £34.95. And those are the only 2 gauges you're using in this.
Yeah, and I've got absolutely, well, this is, and I made that pendant out of this as well,
haven't you?
So I've hardly touched it, and I made that wire woven pendant. So, you know, and that takes up a lot more wire than you realise.
Yeah.
So. Right, so now I've got to start sort of putting it all together, okay? So that little piece, I'm not going to worry about that, but these 3, I'm going to want to kind of link these together as best I can. So I'm going to actually start with the bottom of the sort of bottom part of the frame.
Yep.
Taking my 0.4 wire, just going to thread it through. I can show you there. So I'm actually, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm actually just threading it through. So I'm just going to catch that tail and just literally, it is literally binding it together. Put it nice and tight. I'm going to do about 2 to 3 wraps. You don't need loads, because that will hold that together now. Okay, and I'm actually going to keep the ends there for now, because what I'll do is I'm going to start, I might add a bead there later. Now I'll have a little bit of wire there if I want to add a bead. So I'm going to try to use as minimal 0.4 as I can, because I don't want that to overtake the design.
No.
You know, you can see it if you look closely, but I don't want it to be obvious.
No, it's got a nice free flow feel
so
to it.
It sort of blends into it. And then, so you basically need to put it into 3 places. So we've got that bit. So then I'm going to sort of just bind the bits on one side together. So position it how you're happy. Again, leave a bit of a tail and just hold that and just wrap. I'm just wrapping around where all 3 of those wires are. If you can see, I'm just literally wrapping around them all, and that's just catch it. And if there's like that little bit there,
yeah,
I'm just going to catch, so I can, if I've missed that, I can just catch it and wrap that bit up there, and then that's the whole piece is caught together.
I see.
Okay, don't worry if it's not looking too neat. You can use your pliers and just sort of use that to bring it all together and squeeze the wires so they sit nicely. Just use them to do that, and it will just scrunch it up. Okay, and again, if you have got a bit that's got a bit too much wire, pop a bead on it.
I see.
Beads hide all of it. And again, we're going to just repeat over this side. So again, I'm going to just cut a piece of wire and make sure you're happy with it. So again, just going to catch that sort of tail. And I've got it perfectly there that I can just bind all of those wires together. And again, I'm just going to leave the ends because now that's starting to sort of take shape as such. Then you can sort of start finding sections. So here, that wire's come here. So this is a matter, this is quite a good sort of confidence builder if you are working with wire and you're new to it, because it's about thinking, right, okay, that wire's coming over here and I want to secure it, and I've got wire here. So what you can do is just literally bring that wire across, and then it will blend in. Use your pliers if you haven't got lots to work with, and then that will just a couple of wraps,
yeah,
and that will just hold that bit there now. But that little wrap's just blended in. Just make sure it goes nice and tight. And if you can wrap it to the back, if you can bring it with your nail, and just, if this is, say, is going to be my back, just literally just bring that round so it's sitting like that on the back. But if I turn it around, you can't see it so much on the front.
Yeah.
So just try and choose a front and back and bring all of your little wraps that you might do like that to the back.
I see.
Okay, and now you can see it's starting to sort of, you can still manipulate it. And then you might want to add this bit in. So this is where I want to say, okay, I'm going to add that bit in. I'm looking at it now, I'm thinking it's quite bare across the top.
Yeah.
So now that piece of wire that I've done there can now sit across there. And this is all what you do, literally taking your 0.4 and just securing it in little random places. And like I say, don't worry about using that longer wire, because you can use that for beads. You can
add on beads, you can hide pieces.
That's right. So if I've got like this bit here, manipulate it so I'm happy with it, and I want to attach this little bit now. So again, I might look for what looks like a good point to sort of add it. So if I turn that around, I've got a nice little point just here where it's just there, where I can put the wire through, catch it, and that's going to anchor it nicely. You can see that's going to attach that, and it's going to keep it looking quite minimal. So that's held now, but it's very minimal sort of binding needed to it.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do, if you can avoid it, is that sort of over here is quite a lot. So I don't really want to sort of start anchoring my wires together there.
Because it's too obvious.
Because it's, yeah, and they're going to be quite fixed. You're going to have to wrap quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
What you want to do is try to wrap them together if you can. So if you can flatten them next to each other or have it so slightly overlapping,
beautiful,
that would be better.
Yeah.
So once you've got your shape and you've played about and you've got it all, even if you haven't got it 100% secured, what you can then do is start adding on the beads. So as long as you've got it in one piece, so I can pick that up, it's a piece. Might not be exactly how I want it to be or the outcome I'm going to go for, but it's together. And then you just take your beads,
yeah,
thread it on, and then see where you think it's going to sit nicely. So I'm looking at this and thinking, well, that's going to go nicely in that sort of little groove. So I can now see that there, and then literally take the wire across, put it nice and tight. Oops. Sorry, there we go, bring it across. Got it, so you've got it sitting how you want it to sit. And now I want to secure this bit up here, so I can use that extra bit of wire and just wrap these together. So you can use this travelling piece of wire to bind it together as you go along. So this bit here is out, so I might bring that wire across, just sort of feed it across.
And just adding and securing where and when you need it.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to let you know I've got 16 of these left, and that is it, 1/6 of these left. It's your 0.4 that we've got in the gold for you right now. 0.4, 100 meters worth of the gold and 100 meters worth of the 1 mil as well. These are your two different gauges. £34.95 today.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you this last little bit, and then I can move on to show you how we do the links and how we do the clasp and the hook and eye. So you can see here, I've literally got this piece of wire and it's travelling across. So that wire has gone from over here all the way over to here now, and as it does that, it's sort of securing and putting it all together. And what you'll find is it will just blend into the design. When you need to finish a piece of wire off, what you will need to do is make sure you wrap it around a bare wire, a single wire. So don't wrap it around two pieces and then cut.
No.
Find a nice little point where you think it's going to blend in. And just literally, so if I think, right, I'm going to wrap it, I'm going to just bring it over here just to show you nicely. I want to wrap it around this single wire. And I'm just going to do it as you would finish any wires, but try and just make sure it blends in. Wrap it once and twice. So that's just nicely wrapped around here. And then what I can do now is just trim that. And I'm trimming it to what will be the front of my piece, because in that way, should any little edge come up, it's going to be at the front and not touching the skin. So I've just cut that, and now what I want to do is, because that will still be a sharp edge, so I'm just going to use my pliers and just almost crimp it down into position. When you do that, obviously you can do it facing you and not away from you.
Yeah, of course.
And you'll get it neater, but just take your pliers and just sort of crimp that little sharp edge down.
So that it's not going to irritate, but also it's just a nice little squidge, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's a good squidge. Now you'll notice that the graphics have gone off for your wire. We've got literally a handful left. You can still get that now, but we had to take it off. You can see that this is a beautifully bejeweled, adorned piece, and you have the chance to create it with these exact gemstones. You've got in this bundle that's on screen at the moment, it's your Egyptian inspiration, £12.95. You've got in here your wonderful green quartz, this faceted green in the centre here, sparkling away, hitting the lights in every different corner, aren't they? Beautiful. 250 carats worth of your pyrite in the plain around these outer two here. It's a 30 centimetre strand and the 8 mil there. And finally, these one here, your black onyx. And these are 80 carats worth of your plain rounds in the 6 mil, another 30 centimetre strand. You've got all 3 strands here today. It's just £12.95. I've got a handful or two of these left, so treat yourself to those now, because you can create these really Egyptian feel looks, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just adding a new piece of wire now, so I've literally just adding it onto here. And what you'll find as you do work with it, as you'll see here, it's changed from how I laid it out. So it's not looking the same as it was looking when I laid it out. So this is where I can look at it and think, okay, so I can see quite a few bare areas sort of here and here. So I might want to do one more piece of wire and actually just do that and place it so it sits in that little area there, and just incorporate that as I'm binding the wire on. But it really is, it is a matter of taking the time to go over it, because what you don't want is for something to catch. You don't want any areas that can do this, that will lift up.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You want to catch any of those areas. But as you work and you add your stones on, you'll see that they just sort of naturally become caught anyway. So you can add that stone in there, bring it across, and what you can do is use that wire, as I said, to travel. So if I want to get it up to here, I will probably just literally holding it like this, bring it up, and then add a bead there, and that will blend in.
Yeah.
So just use that piece to travel rather than having lots of added ins, and then you could just quick sort of catch it, move on, add a stone, and you'll cover a lot of your wraps with the stones anyway.
I see.
Okay, and you want them really to sit in the little sort of circles. Then now they've almost got like a little gap for them. Okay, now what you'll see here is I've got this bit here, and what I want to do is choose one to be my sort of I can use to add the chain onto.
Yes.
Okay, so again, pull it about, play about, try and find two that are sort of equal looking. Okay, if you think you can still manipulate them, so I might use that one there and there. Yeah. Manipulate these down a little bit, you know, do all of that. Now what I'm going to do is just close that up.
Okay.
So that's now become a sort of a closed loop. Okay, and then whatever I put on there can't escape.
I see.
Okay, you can do just sort of turn it around a little bit more like that, and then whatever you link onto there won't be able to sort of travel down the piece. Okay, and then repeat on that side. So then that's basically, as I said, that's all you do with that. If you look at that one, you should find that there's nowhere that it can pick up or catch. It should all be kind of sewn down. There shouldn't be anything that will sort of lift up.
No.
And it's quite solid feeling as well.
Definitely. And it's lightweight. Even though you've layered up,
it's very light.
It's 1 mil, it's very light, isn't it?
When you've got this, you can see there's lots of movement in it, and I can sort of bend it about. You know, if there's anything like that, you do need to just go over it a little bit more. So you shouldn't really be able to do this, but it lets you catch anything as well.
I see.
But what will happen is it'll kind of 3D itself.
Yeah,
it will almost kind of start to do that.
Yeah,
and have that effect.
pronounce
so,
itself.
you know, you can just play about with it and form it how you want it to sit.
That's perfect. Now, just before you get onto the links of this for me, I just want to bring people at home my 0.6 silver colour wire. We're completely out of silver in 0.4. So we have got some 0.6, the closest we have available to the 0.4 at the moment. Tell me about 0.6.
Well, 0.6 you could use as the links with the gemstone on this. So if you wanted, what I like is you can create that wrapped loop effect. So if you wanted to do a whole chain of just wrapped looped stones, it looks really nice just as a chain. You could do like that rosary effect. You can also do a nice little bracelet like it, but it keeps it nice and secure. It's very easy to use.
You said to us earlier on as well about 0.6 when we had it before that it is weavable, isn't it?
It is. It's harder.
It's tricky.
It's trickier, but you can, and some people actually use 0.6 as the base wires. You know, if you had 0.6 and a 0.25, then you could still use them. Yeah, you know, I've used 0.6 as base wires as well. Yeah. Again, you've just got to get used to it. When you work with any gauges of wire, get used to how they feel and how they move and how they work, because obviously if it gets hot, it's going to go soft. So try and sort of work in a cooler environment, and don't grip the wire really hard with your hands. But perfect for gizmo, if you like to do gizmo, and as I said before, and again having it in those colours, perfect.
Really
and
very
people
popular.
make their own findings as well.
Yeah, with the 0.6 you can do that.
And you can do rings, you know. I do.
So long as you perhaps have done a little bit of wire work before, you can weave with this. Just make sure you take time, really is the tip on that.
Yeah, it really is. It's just about taking your time and sort of going extra careful and making sure those wires are sitting nice and close.
And if you're going to do that with structural, obviously you want a higher gauge as well, won't you?
Yeah.
You'll want maybe your 125, 1.5. So this is your 0.6. Let's take a look at your price on this today. Should be at £19.95 until today. Let's take this down for you. Today for our Wirework special, it's just it was £19.95. It doesn't want us to reduce the price to £14.95. That's a £5 saving for you today. 100 metres. We've not got any 0.4, but we have got the 0.6, the closest we can offer for you right now at £14.95. Get it home, give it a go. 30-day money back guarantee if it doesn't work out for you, but give it a go, give it a try, take your time. Yeah. You may fall in love.
All of the gauges have got their own place for me as far as I'm concerned. You know, platin is lovely for doing
beautiful,
platin, and also for macrame.
So you're going to be showing us how to do this section now, aren't you?
So now I'm going to show you just how, obviously we do the links and how we do the clasp and findings, just to sort of give it that finished look, because I was thinking, how can you finish a chain off? I wanted to keep it in keeping with the style of the focal part. So I thought I'd do some just nice little links, and you could hammer them. I didn't, but you could hammer and texture them and you'd get that kind of nice effect then.
Wonderful.
As well.
We did have the hammer and block on earlier. They were how much? £5.95 each, were they? I think one of them was not that. Oh. £4.95. That's what I thought. We had one on at £5.95 and one on at £4.95 for you. Have a little look. You'll be able to see it. It was on the show earlier on. Yes. Okay. So this is our 1 mil.
You haven't done anything. This is 1 mil, yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so with these, the first thing to do is cut 2 pieces of wire off. One, because that's going to be a test piece to make sure you've got the right length.
Okay.
And the other one, that if you have got the right length, you've got the measurement of it.
Yes.
If you find out it's a bit too long, you just cut cut the excess off and measure it against your second piece. And that lets you get that sort of nice consistency.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's right. So, what we're going to do is actually going to start off doing the link.
Okay.
Okay. What we're going to just do is a spiral on each end. So start off with 1 spiral. Now,
and this is at the thinnest point, is it?
Yeah, at the thinnest point, make sure it's nice and flush. So, I went on a bit fast there. Sorry, it's totally my fault. I'm going to just.
Mine's right though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So with this, you've got it sort of. I want this to be a bit more of an open spiral. I don't want this to be a really sort of tight spiral. So I've gone down a tiny little bit. So I've got it nice and flush.
Yeah.
And I'm just creating that loop. But I don't want it to meet. It's just creating a loop.
I see.
So it's looking a little bit like that. Okay.
Yep.
And then just pop your pliers in.
And just edge it around.
Yeah. And use your hands to sort of manipulate it as well. You have to be a bit careful when you're using your hands. Sometimes you can make it go like this, and then you can end up with it looking a little bit egg-shaped.
Yeah, but you don't want that, no.
No, you can kind of manipulate it. So once you've done that on that side,
yeah,
turn it over and do the same again, but I want the spiral to go in the opposite direction. So my spiral is facing this way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spiral in this direction.
I see.
Okay. So we repeat the exact
Just
same
want to
thing.
let you know there are some people online who haven't checked out their baskets yet. Please do so, because we are low in stock on this now. If you want this 0.6, you need to be quick on this. Lots of people want to give it a go today for your weaving or whatever else you might be using it for. So please do check out your baskets right about now.
You can Viking knit with 0.6 as well. So, and it gives a really sort of solid.
It is, isn't it? It's a really stands out.
Quite, makes it quite unisex then as well, because it's quite chunky and
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
So there's my little S at the moment. Now it's not the same as the necklace because at the moment it's just a nice simple little link. Okay. What I'm going to do is so that I can get the same sort of them equal. Just with my fingers, I'm just doing one and then the other so that they're getting a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm actually just going to do it so they actually are more or less touching.
Almost touching.
Well, you want them to be touching really, so you can if you slightly overlink them like that, overlap them and then put them back, it's going to be nice and close. The reason being, oh look at you.
Matching. They're pretty much the same, aren't they?
And you could hammer these, but just with that bit there, you can see the gap. You really need them to be touching. Yeah. And the reason being...
So you can just move them in, can't you?
Yeah, that's it. And then just keep working until you're happy with them. And what you can do then, when you add your link, it can't escape.
I see.
Because you've kind of blocked...
You've blocked it in there. Yeah. Because when you have a look on the actual chain section, they can't unloop.
No.
Because they're completely closed up.
If this was open, they wouldn't come off. They would just possibly slide down, and you don't want them to slide down. So just by taking that time, just to make sure that they really are touching, they can't slide down. Then they're actually going to stay
in space.
In space.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see that, and it won't be able to escape then. Okay, so I'm going to put that down.
Yeah.
And you can do a little link with me if you want.
Yes, thank you.
But now you can see that's a nice size link. So that was probably, how long do you think it was?
That one I would say
inches.
Is approximately 10 centimetres.
About 10 centimetres.
So probably about 100 mil on there. So you know that your tester piece was right then, don't you?
Yeah, so that was, and I mean there is no wrong or right length, it's just by, if you think, oh that's a nice size link, which I think that's quite a nice size, then I can then repeat and cut lots of, Okay, so now I'm just going to give you another little piece. You don't need
same
that much.
piece again. No.
With this, I just used the black and the green because they were smaller. That's the only reason.
But the black and the green went through your 1 mil.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I will say that the pyrite esca point wouldn't go through.
Okay, yeah.
It's just got a slightly smaller
use it
drill
on your
hill.
0.4.
Yeah, so use that with the 0.4.
Drill hill.
drill heel.
Yeah, so use
I
it
would've
just
known
on the 0.4. I want to let you know as well, of the 0.6, we've got a handful of those left, so please get them in now at £14.95. It's the closest we've got at the moment of your 0.4, so treat yourself to this silver coloured wire now.
Okay, so with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by doing a link. What's quite good if you're going to do a few of these is to cut off quite a length of wire. And then just work from that length, and then you reduce your wastage there.
I see, yeah, brilliant, good tip.
And if you can mark your pliers, you'll get a consistent size loop. Or if you are lucky enough to own the bale making pliers, then you can use them. But you can do this with your round nose pliers. Just if you mark it, a lot of people just get used to going to the
same space, yeah.
Okay, and I'm literally just going to bend that round. Now, if I do that, it's going to look like a P.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I'm just popping my pliers back in, put my thumb just there, and I'm just going to bend it back, and then it looks like a proper little eye pin.
And kink it.
Okay, and then that just makes it look a bit straighter.
Yeah.
Then add your bead on.
Yeah.
And you can do this because you're using the 1mm wire. That's why you can do this, because the 1mm wire is strong. So I know that that wire won't come undone, those links won't come undone, and they won't snap.
Yeah.
That's why if I'm doing a lower gauge wire, I do a wrapped link because it's more secure.
Security.
With this, now I've got my stone on, and you can see that my sort of the end of my wire is here.
Yeah.
Just here.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is bend my wire back in the same direction, so that when I curl this over, the end will be on the same size.
I can
the
see.
cut end will be on the same side.
So your same direction.
Yeah. With this, I tend to just cut about a centimetre off. Again, is just get used to looking at it by eye. And this is why if that was a big long piece of wire, I could have then just worked from that, and I don't waste as much as cutting it off of there.
I see what you mean.
Okay, pop your pliers in.
Use your snips.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And just fold that over. And then you've got a nice little link, just like that. Now what you can do, there's two ways of attaching that to this link. The first one is you can actually just, the centre of the spiral, hook it on, open it up a bit, and then pop it back on.
That's really pretty.
So if you think, oh, I haven't added it, it's really quick and easy just to do that. Or you can just open this out like a jump ring and just open it to the side, pop the link on and pop it back. And then you would literally just do a few of those and link them all together.
Yeah.
And that's how you do them. So if you wanted to add your stone to my link.
Oh yeah, go on. Then we can see what we've done. This is, of course, you could do the rosary technique with this, can't you?
Yeah. You could use your
Gemstone
0.6
chain.
to get that wrapped link, and use the 1mm wire to get that sort of secure link.
Yeah,
hammer
I
them.
see.
You
Hammer
could,
them in.
Yeah, you could just do a whole necklace like that. It would look really pretty.
That would be really pretty.
So that's how you do the links. And then I'm going to
these
finish
go
off by showing you how we do the clasp and just the hook and eye, really.
Just before we do that, sorry, we've just had a message in from Jackie that Kirsty says we'll ask right about now. Oh, it came and then went.
Right.
We'll be learning how to do this in a moment after this question from Jackie. Have you done the bead scoop yet? No, Jackie, don't worry, don't worry. It's coming up for you in our 4 o'clock hour, where we have got the whole hour £10 and under.
Wow.
So no, hold your horses, Jackie. We'll be with you in a little bit.
Brilliant.
So we're going to learn how to do that, your link at the back now.
Yep, so
Yep.
there we go. This is, because it was quite decorative all the way around, I wanted to have a really nice finishing touch, and I didn't want to just finish off with a normal little hook.
No.
I wanted to give it something a little bit different. That one I have hammered just to give it that strength, because it's going to be securing, and I don't want it to, it won't, because it is 1mm wire, but you just don't want, if it catches, just in case it misshapes, with it being hammered, you're just strengthening it and keeping that shape. Okay.
Want to let you know I've got a handful of this wire left now, and these will be coming to you. It's your 0.4 and your 1mm, 100 metres of each. That's your wire coming up on screen now.
So to do this, again, we're going to sort of start off with quite a large open spiral.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to and all I'm doing is just gently forming it round to get that shape. Now what I want to do is I don't want to go any further, so if you see there, I've got my sort of half snail shell.
Yeah.
Now what I want to do is take my sort of pliers, my flat nose pliers, pop them in at the bottom.
Yeah.
And just literally push that wire up, and that's going to create that sort of curve, that nice sharp angle. Okay.
Bit like the base of a treble clef.
Yeah, but use your flat nose pliers as opposed to your round, because I can just show that's a good example.
Yeah.
You can see, although you've still got it, if you did that,
It's not as pointed, is it? It's not as dramatic.
That gives it a little bit more sharper, and you probably find it easier as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so then I'm just going to gently form this around again, and then use your round nose pliers, just gently manipulate it to create that sort of, looks a bit like a duck or a swan at the moment.
I can see what you
Can
mean.
you see the duck?
Sort
Oh,
of.
when they kind of go quack quack.
Sort of. Quack, quack. Yeah, I can see where you're going. Oh, I've got to go that way. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, okay. And so now I've got a sharp edge here. Now there's two things you can do. I like to, just because I think it looks nicer, I just like to put a little loop. So I'm just going to put a tiny little loop in that, right at the very end of your pliers, nice and small. By doing that, it makes sure that there are no sharp edges, okay, because that's been tucked away. And what you can do,
I can see, yeah.
is you can cut it and then you can file it.
Right.
And if you cut it and filed it, so I'm just going to put this down. If I say I'd done this and this was
Can I
my...
use your snips? It's got a bit of a longer nose.
So say that that's my... so say I wasn't going to do that little loop.
Yeah.
What I could do is like tool swap.
Tool
isn't
swap.
it?
The tool swappers.
What you could do is file that so it's nice and smooth, and then just pop your pliers in and just kick it up a little bit, and then you have that kind of hook. But for me, I would be a bit conscious of that scratching against the neck. So
Yeah.
by doing this, it's going to be nice and smooth. Okay, now you might think, oh, is it going to go out of shape? But because it is a 1mm wire, it is holding its shape pretty good. If you also get the hammer, and even if you didn't want to flatten it,
Yeah.
just to strengthen it, just lightly hammer that, and it would really retain its shape. So you don't need to worry about will that or won't it. And
Yeah.
then if you want it extra secure, just bend it so that it's actually touching that.
Or touching it.
Yeah,
so.
if you want it to be extra secure and no chance of the link running away. So that's just that part, and then the other part is really super simple,
Yeah.
and that's just...
Keep sending your questions in, because we'll be asking a few if we've got a chance now, but also in our final hour just before we come back to Laura for a challenge. Text us in 60777, start your text with James Studio, or pop us a message online, JewelleryMaker.com. Thank you.
So for this, I go to the largest part of my round nose pliers,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to go all the way around until that wire's meeting there. Now this is back to that sort of P shape again,
Yeah.
but I actually don't want to kick this out. I'm just going to turn it around, put it back in my pliers,
Yeah.
just show it like that, and all I'm going to do is bring the wire around like that, and you
Yeah.
can see from that angle it's looking like an 8.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so just take the pliers out. What you want to do is make sure that wire is right across, going straight across. Take your pliers and just literally
Your cutters.
cutters, well, they're pliers.
Yeah.
Cutters.
Let me just
Tool.
nick 'em. Take your tool. Take your tool.
Take your tool. And you have it there. Now all I'm going to do, just to make sure that that's nice and finished, if you can see, I'm just going to click it and make sure it's in place. Now if you find, I can see here I've got like a tiny little sharp edge, so it's not sitting nicely. I'm just going to cut that again with my pliers.
Yeah.
Pliers.
Yeah.
Cutters. But I'm going to cut it with the back, with the flat end, just going along. So if you can see that, the flat end's just on the inside.
The flat end that's got the sort of slight squidge to it, hasn't it?
Oh, sorry, no, the flat end needs to go that way.
Yeah.
And that's going to have given that a nice flat edge then. And then you can just use your pliers just to put that back into position. Now that will sit much nicer.
I can see.
Okay, and that will work with any type of cutters. If you just use that flat edge, we'll make it a nice flat cut.
Flat and easy
Yeah,
to work
and
with.
again, just make sure that if you have put a little loop on your finding here, that it will still fit. Because if you did your loop a bit too big, it might not go through.
Good
your
point
loop.
to make.
But there you just have a nice little finishing touch. It just makes it that little bit prettier.
It is a really pretty clasp, I think.
Yeah.
And it is simple to use as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? And it's secure.
It's secure, and it just
Very secure.
I just felt it went in with the design. It didn't make it an obvious, oh, there's the clasp. It just made it continuous.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, I think. I think I've kind of covered everything.
That's perfect. Thank you very much for showing us all of this. Now, I've got a few questions for you, Laura. We've had a lot of support for you today. Loving your designs, of course. We've got one here that says, Becky, Laura, hi, I'm loving the show, but I missed the silver wire offer. I can't believe it. As I am desperate for silver 0.4mm wire, have you got any more? Sad face, not at the moment. I'm really sorry. We had some available in that bundle, but that's all we had any left. However, there is some on order. So fingers crossed, it will be winging its way to us very, very soon. Sorry you missed out on that, but we will be getting some in very soon. We've still got your 0.4mm in your gold colour in this bundle if you want to get your hands on that. But wait, hold off for the silver, it'll be with you very soon. Got another message in now. Katie from Cornwall. Hey JM, loving the show with Laura and Becky. Was wondering, when making a wire bracelet with extension chains, what length would you make the main length?
Again,
really good question.
Again, a lot of people have got their own individual size. It's either going to be 6 inches for the actual bracelet piece itself, 6.5. Averagely, it's 7.5 wrists complete with the actual clasp. So I would always make to that size, but then I would probably have the extender should, because you do get people with larger wrists again. So I would say about 7.5, but a lot of time, that's what I make as a standard. But if people want it different, then just say, can you tell me your size, and then you can make it to order. But as a guide, that fits most people.
I see, that's wonderful. Anything, just an estimate basically.
Yeah,
and then
6.5 to 7.5 inches seems to be a sort of, so make a couple in those sort of sizes, and then if someone liked it, you can always say, well, I can make that in your size, and it can be a bit of a selling point for you as well.
Bit of a conversation starter. Thank you for sending that in, Katie. Got another few questions for you now. This is from May in Dorset. Hi May. It says, hi, I find my pliers mark the jewellery. I have tried masking tape, and that's okay, but it's not brilliant. A happy customer, thoroughly enjoying this. Any tips from Laura how to avoid that?
Okay, certain colours of wire are going to mark easier than others. So you'll find I've been using the silver and I've been using the gold today, and you can see that they've not marked.
No.
But if you use the darker coloured wires, it tends to be like the dark blue, the black. They do sometimes mark, and unfortunately, there's not really much you can do about that. The only thing you can do is, if you've got nylon pliers, try to use them, you know, and it's just as minimal contact as possible with the wire with your tools. You know, when we made these spirals, we started off with the tools and then we used our hands. So, you know, try and use your hands as much as you can to mould the piece rather than using your pliers to pull it. Or if you're going to use your pliers, pull it at the end of your piece. So say I wanted to wrap that, I had a length like this and I want to wrap it around a ring, put my pliers right in at the very end and use that as my grip point, and then you can just snip that section off. That's the best I can sort of. It's a common problem with all brands of wire. It's just the darker the colours, it seems to be as well. Just go really gentle, use your hands as much as you can.
Thank you very much for answering that, Laura. Thank you, May, for your question. We can squeeze another couple in, I think, probably. This is from Kirsty in the Channel Islands. Welcome, Kirsty. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It says, hi, everyone at JM. A while ago on JewelleryMaker, I saw a tool to round off the ends of a piece of wire so it wasn't sharp. Could you tell me the name?
Yeah, I think it's called a burr, a wire burr.
Yeah, wire burr.
Burr.
Burr. Burr.
Yeah, burr. It's like a wooden handle, and you basically just put the wire in the top, and it just takes off all the sharp edges. And that's what I would use if I was gonna. When I was saying about the clasp, you can either file it or you could use that wire burr, and it is brilliant. And it's good if you make your own findings, like your earring findings, because it makes it perfect to go through your ear.
I don't think we have any in at the moment, though, do we? We don't have any in at the moment. They are on their way back in, though, so do keep your eyes open for those, Kirsty. A burr is what you're looking for.
Or a wire burr, but And they're not very expensive, but they are brilliant. That sounded really
They are
Brazilian.
really useful. But they're brilliant.
They are brilliant.
They are proper brilliant.
Proper brilliant.
I love that. Hey, we've had another question for you from Sandra in Oxfordshire. Hi Sandra, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, ladies. Fantastically inspirational show. Bit of a random question, but could we please have a closer look at Laura's gorgeous looking ring?
Ring?
We assume. You know that we're in matching outfits today. Laura's made me a matching ring, but I've left mine in. We have got matching rings.
I thought she was going to take it anyway, because this is Becky.
Don't lie, you made it for me. It's a beautiful ring, isn't it? Let's have a little look at that. You can show it towards the camera for us. We are going to get Laura to do this on a future designer inspirations piece. So genuinely,
I've got to be honest, it was done out of this kit, but I thought, I'm going to do this as an actual mid-show.
How much would you look at selling this for?
With this one, I would probably say about £15 to £20 because it's got a lot. It hasn't got a lot of work, but it has, and it's one of those that without feeling it and seeing it. If I just show the inside, I don't know if you can see the inside there. It's quite smooth and it's quite.
It's really comfortable.
Yeah, it's really comfortable to wear, and it's something that we were saying about how it's. It looks a little bit more substantial. Yeah. So there you go.
So if you were going to sell that for £15, how much would you say it cost to make that?
With this, what I had, probably about £1.
Yeah.
If that, because I just literally used a tiny bit of the 1mm wire. And this is one of the rarer occasions that I use the 1mm wire for rings, because they've got their own place for rings.
Yes.
And then just a bit of my weaving wire, so not really a lot.
Great profit margins on that piece. Squeeze in one more. Don't forget, we have got more time for questions later on as well. This is from Gloria in Herefordshire. Hello, Gloria. Just wanted to say what a super informative show today. Well done to the pair of you, from Gloria.
Aww,
Gloria, thank you very much. I'm glad you've been enjoying it today. We've had fun so far,
it's been good. We're just trying to show a range of things because, you know, everyone doesn't do the same type of work, and you've got beginners out there that need to learn the sort of more basic stuff as well, but still get that impact look.
Yeah, definitely. I think you've done that through both of your pieces today. And we are going to be coming over for some more of her pieces in our challenge, aren't we?
We are.
How's that going?
I've done one thing, and I'm halfway through a special request.
She's halfway through your request, I think, Tom. That's wonderful. So do keep sending in your messages for Laura Binding, because we are going to spend a little bit of time nearing the end chatting to her when we have a look at her challenge. You can text us in 60777, start your text with JM Studio, or message us in at JewelleryMaker.com. Now, after the break, not only are we in the under £10 section, we've also got something everyone's looking forward to. Your wonderful bead scoops are coming up. And we have emeralds. And more importantly, my favourite gemstone in the whole wide world.
Amethyst.
Opal. I'll see you after this short break.
Join guest designer Laura Binding on our intermediate wirework course. The aim of the course is to enhance your wirework skills and take your designs to the next level. You will learn more advanced weaving and binding techniques, which you can incorporate into your jewellery. The full course includes a selection of gauges of wire, a generous scoop of mixed gemstones, a copy of the Wirework Tutorial DVD Edition 3, a buffet-style lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studios and chance to meet the presenters, and a visit to our Gemstone Museum. All of this for just £79.95. To book your place, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655. Jewellery Maker, bringing out the designer in you.
Jewellery Maker course gift vouchers are now available. You can choose from a bronze, silver or gold voucher. Each voucher is worth a different amount that entitles you to put towards a course of your choice. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
Join guest designers Debbie Bulford and Rachel Norris to explore the endless possibilities of combining polymer clay and wirework. This DVD guides you through a variety of projects and will give you the inspiration you need to create your own designs. Advance your jewellery making and fuse your talents together with this amazing DVD. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre. Get creative with JewelleryMaker.
You can now keep in touch by liking JewelleryMaker UK on Facebook. Get interactive with JewelleryMaker.
Do you need a helping hand to get started with JewelleryMaker? Are you stuck for ideas and need inspiration? Then visit our JewelleryMaker website where you can find our video tutorials. Expand your knowledge and skills with these easy to follow jewellery making demonstrations. Whether you're a beginner, hobbyist or business owner, there's always something new to learn. It couldn't be easier. Simply click and learn some new jewellery making techniques.
Tune into JewelleryMaker every day at 5 p.m. for our Miss It, Miss Out show, where we'll have 4 hours of jam-packed deals, including clearance offers, end of line, last in stock and low, low prices. The Miss It, Miss Out show, only on JewelleryMaker.
Welcome back everybody to JewelleryMaker. Thank you for joining me. My name is Becky and in our designer inspiration show today we have the lovely Laura Binding. What are you whipping up there, Laura B?
I'm working on a ring. I'm trying to do a sort of a bit more of a manly-ish ring.
Masculine ring.
Yeah, trying.
I'll let you carry on with that then. If you have got any questions for Laura, do keep sending them in. We'll be going back over to her in probably about 40 minutes or so to have a little check on what she's up to. We are officially in my under £10 section. I've got some true treats for you in here, including it's your bead scoop. I'll be getting this out for you properly to have a little nosy at later on. But I know that everybody is super excited about this bead scoop. That'll be coming up for you within the next hour. Also got Cleopatra's favourite and my favourite. These are coming up for you in this hour also. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh my, it's such a stunning strand. I am so excited to bring that to you. These are both coming up to you in the next hour as well. But before all that, what I would say is we're in the under £10 section. You know what happens when we go under £10 on things. People get excited, people get on the phones quicker, people check out quicker. So I would say to you, if you see something you like, move quicker. Get on the phone quicker. If you like it, as soon as the graphics are up, get on the phone, check out straight away. It's a very fast-paced moving hour for the next few minutes. So please do stick with us and please do get your deals whilst you can. Where are we starting, Kirsty? This is your blue coloured fire agate. These are faceted. It's got a Sodalite appearance in some of them because you've got that real mixture of the deep, deep blues with almost this foam-like white running through. 490 carats worth of this blue fire agate faceted round, and it's 14mm. That's a perfect size for a wire wrap ring. Imagine mixing this with that beautiful 925 sterling silver wire that we had earlier on with this blue and that silver tone, a really cooling but luxurious ring that would be, wouldn't it, Laura B?
Yeah.
What would you think of doing with this?
like you say, it's asking to be made into a ring, but also for me, I would make just really simple earrings, just literally just a head pin through them, hanging off of a shepherd hook, just nothing too complicated, because that's all you would need. And if you imagine if it's nice and sunny, because those days are coming, hopefully.
They really are
They are on their way, heard a rumour.
They really are coming soon.
You know, and even if it's not, even if it's raining, it would brighten up your day, wouldn't it? Put a nice, bright, sparkly pair of earrings
Pop
on.
of blue colour, bit of blue sunshine skies. Let's give you a sunny price on these, shall we? It's £5.45 for you today. Take a look at the length of this strand for me. Isn't that £5.45? These are 14 mil. They're faceting, and they're a stunning hue across each of them. Wonderful price today, £5.49. Every single pence we could take off that we possibly have. There's loads of you just rush to the phone, and you know we're in our under £10 hour. It's time to get yourself on the phone. Keep the phone in your hand for this hour, blimey, because we're going to keep the deals coming. Do stay where you are. You are answered in order. We will be with you. It's free phone from a landline, 0800 644 655, to get your hands on this superb strand today for just £5.45. Oh, I think that goes, you know, we were saying springy, spring tones you've got in here. This is your green colour coated pyrite in the graduated faceted pairs. And these are from around 7x5 all the way to 14 by 9 mil. Now, the thing is, when we're looking at these, you can see that the coating itself, it's got a real metallic luster, hasn't it? Now, when we put the coating on, it's not a paint, it's not hiding anything, it's purely to give something that Mother Nature cannot offer us. And this is the perfect example. Of course, pyrite in itself, in its own nature, it is an opaque stone, and it is a metallic stone. We've still got that beautiful opaque look. We've still got the metallic luster with this. It's just a pop of something a little bit extra to beautify this stone. 105 carats in total. This is a pair of earrings would be really beautiful. Little black dress with these, or little red dress. You're right, Laura B. Red and green, a bit festive actually, isn't it? It really is a little bit festive. I realise we're definitely in the wrong time of year for that. It's a beautiful bright poppy colour, and those just as a drop pair of earrings. So simple, but really eye-catching because of the beautiful gemstone. Let's take a look. You know it's going to be under £10. Let's have a look. £9.95 for you on this strand today. It's beautiful. The gemstone itself is made up of iron and sulfur. That's how it's made together. And the iron, the amount of iron you get in this, that's why you get that beautiful metallic appeal that's just shining through this stunning strand. It's yours today for just £9.95. I've got one of Laura Binding's favourite gemstones here. This is the lavender amethyst. This is your 12 mil round, 390 carats. And this would go great with the rosary technique we did earlier on, didn't it?
It would. What I love about that shade of amethyst is it's softer. I like the more muted tones of stone, so the fact that that's so soft, that with the Prehnite that you had earlier, be beautiful. If you had like a nice sort of just a few of them and then a pendant of the Prehnite, that would look really nice.
Really pretty. Of course, it is February's birthstone, and a lot of places on the high street, they can be a little bit naughty, and as it gets closer to a birthstone month beginning, they will hike the price up of things. It happens on the high street quite a bit. Not here though, of course. It's February's birthstone. It's of course the birthstone of Valentine's, also around the corner. So great to get this out on your stall, made for your loved ones, because it's going to be super popular in February. This is going to be a super popular price too. It's just £8.95 for you today. Worth the wait, wasn't it? Look at the length of this strand. It has got that beautiful lavender hue, really delicate tone. Wonderful, in fact, if perhaps you have a friend whose birthday is in February and they aren't particularly keen on the aubergine colour that you get of the purple, because it is quite in your face, that colour, isn't it?
Yeah, I think also it's personal taste. I don't tend to wear a lot of purple, but I would wear that shade of purple because it's softer.
It's softer, it's more delicate.
Bit, yeah.
Yes, it's almost pinky, isn't it, in its appearance. So if you have got, the wonderful thing with amethyst is, as it's coming up to Feb, as it's coming up to Valentine's Day, you can go for the bright purple, or you can go for this beautiful delicate tone, and you're going to be hitting more markets in that way, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So this is yours for just £8.95. Do keep yourself on the phone lines, please. We will be with you all point by point. There are people who are literally just staying on the phone. Now, I do not blame you at all, because you know that I've got opal and emerald and this goodie bag coming up for you, and you know what those scoops are like. Once they come in, they fly out, don't they? So do stay exactly where you are. And whilst you're there, treat yourself to some of these orange coral nuggets. Now, I understand that some of you are slightly wary about coral. I know when we have coral on, sometimes people ask a lot of questions about how we source our coral. It is completely ethically. All the coral that we use has died many hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It is not dredged out of the sea. It's actually in areas where sea used to be on high water tables, and they no longer exist as the waterline has changed throughout the whole of the world. So these are actually sourced from up in what are now mountains, used to be seabeds, now mountains. So they are completely ethically sourced, and you've got these beautiful, zesty, appealing poppy tones in this orange medium nugget, and these are your 8 mils. They've got this almost starburst effect. If you have a look, you can see internally in the center of them they have the lighter area, almost the coral tone, the coral pink tone, and then it goes out to this really zesty burst. It's a wonderful strand. What would you think of doing with this one, Laura B?
Oh, I think a really cute little stretchy or something would be really sweet with that.
We're on a wavelength. I was going to say that. What else? Because that was mine idea.
They're that nice sort of size that, again, for me, I could pop it into a pendant and it would have that, give it that splash of colour. But you could also have a cluster of them hanging from a pair of earrings. You could even just have some on a tassel kind of necklace. You just have a tassel drop and a couple of them on the end. It would just really, it's just freshen up your look, wouldn't it, really?
Yes. It is, it's popping, it's flash, isn't it? Let's have a look at your price on this today, shall we? For your beautiful coral, £4.95. Add this to the beautiful, if you have a look at this alongside your stunning emerald, the green and the orange tones work really well together, don't they? I adore orange and green together. I think it's such a beautiful. Kirsty's saying turquoise with orange. Yeah, I can get on board with that as well.
It would, and blues. They really go.
Summer.
Yeah, beautiful.
Summertime tones. £4.95. The sun will come out very soon with this strand. Now, are we doing with my favourite first? Let's bring my favourite first. This is your star buy. Welcome to our star buy. This is my favourite. Now, opal, you know what I'm like with opal. I become a little bit sort of starry-eyed and ridiculous around opal. For me, it's such a stunning gemstone. It's created in an almost magical way. It takes so long to form by Mother Nature. It's built up of very long story short, what happens is a silica-based substance then mixes in with like a liquid that forms this gel-like substance that's very, very slowly, lots of time, seeps into cracks and into areas, a lot of the time in igneous rock, but not exclusively. And then over the years, you get these layers and layers of it slowly building up. This gel then solidifies, and that's how you get opal. But it happens over so many years, and that's why you get the colour play that you can sometimes see in wonderful opals. And I'm getting some of that colour play on this strand, especially in the more milky and clear ones. Can you see the opalescence, this blue flash, almost milky blue flash that you get with some of these? You've got 240 carats worth here of your fire Mexican opal. Now, Mexican opal itself, it's got such a wonderful past. It was believed, the Mayans actually believed that because of this bright, fiery, vivid tone, they believed that opal was actually born from the waters of paradise, and that because of the mixture was there with the water and the heat, that's why they sometimes call it the stone of the bird of paradise, because you've got this juxtaposition of them thinking it was from the fires but also from the waters of paradise, and that's why it's sometimes referred to as that. You've got real pops in here of your citrus. You've got cranberry tones in there. You've even got a little bit really deep jet almost in here. You will see that this is a double strand. It is 76 centimeters. Now, Mexico itself is a very important location when it comes to getting your fire opal. It's said with many gemstones, but I think this one more than any other, that when you do get your gemstones, a lot of the time they can reflect the areas in which they are mined, and I truly believe that this gemstone does it that better than any other, because these are mined in areas within Mexico where volcanoes have gone extinct, and you get this volcanic colouring running through each of them. I think it's such a magical gemstone, and it's a 76 centimetre strand. You can get all of this opal for this price today. £9.95 is your web price. It's not staying there at all. It's my favourite. I adore it. You're getting a double strand of genuine opal for £7.95. It's opal. Everybody knows the name. Everybody knows that it's luxurious, it's high-end, it's really, really up there in the family of gemstones, and you're getting a double strand, 76 centimetres to be precise, for just £7.95. It's 240 carats worth, and you're getting these beautiful fire Mexican opal tones, but you're also getting your opalescence. On the clearer ones of these, you're also getting that colour play internally in some. Honestly, it's a wonderful strand. Get it home. Fall in love with opal as much as I do. It is such a beautiful gemstone, and it's at such a beautiful price. £7.95 is your price on our superstar buy today. We're going to leave that with you because it is flying out, but we'll leave that with you. Do stay on the phone lines. We will be with you. You're answered in order. Are we going for the cubes? Ooh. I've not seen these before. Have you seen these before, spellbinding?
Ooh, no.
I've not seen these before in cubes. Anyone else? Kaz, have you?
No.
Scott?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, there's always one, isn't there? 350 carats worth of your rainbow pyrite cubes. And these are your 8mm cubes. They have got, when you think of the cubes, they have got the rounded edges, so as I roll them along my skin, it's not scratchy, it's not digging in, it's got the smoothed edges. You can see with this, the rainbow pyrite cubes, that you've got a green flash, and then I'll turn it and it'll be blue or purple and then more golden tone. If I show you along, peacock tones exactly, Kirsty. And I adore peacock tones in general. It's so eye-catching Kirsty's just told me that she went to a wedding once where they had, she did a wedding when they had peacocks walking down the aisle on leads. That's a bit extravagant, isn't it? I've got a better story than that. I'm going to smash that story out of the park. I was at the Queen's Garden party and I wore a peacock dress, and Charles commented on it saying that I looked beautiful in it. It's a pretty good story, that, isn't it? To be fair, yeah, frightening peacocks is pretty cool also. You've got 350 carats worth in these rainbow cubes today. We've not seen them before, unless you're Scots. Let's have a look at the price. You won't see them again after that price, will you? £6.95, and it's a real strand. Cubes are a lot of people love cube shapes, don't they? How do you honestly feel about cubes?
I love them. I think they're really cute.
Do you?
And I like them when they look like that and they're quite rounded.
Yes.
So they've got like a softer look to them, and they're just cute. I just think they're cute. I would just have one on a pair of earrings with a piece of like an eye pin, and then a little one just hanging from the bottom, so you'd have that sort of swing and you could see the cubes, or a couple of them at different lengths.
And you could see all the different peacock
tones. You could see all the colours,
couldn't you?
It's just lush. It's girt lush.
It's girt lush. £6.95. A bit of a lush price as well, isn't it? Now, we're going to squeeze in another good one for you before your bead scoop. We're going to do bead scoop after this strand, and this strand is important because not only is it lapis lazuli, beautiful golden and beautiful blue tones running through, but also you've got two shapes on this strand. I don't think I've seen that before. You've got in here your plain rondelles, but you also have the tube shapes. So you see in here how you have these spaces. Those are also lapis lazuli. If I can show you, that's a bit better. So you see you have the rondelles, but you'll then next to it, these are 6x4, the rondelles, and then you also have the tubes, which are 10x7mm. So you're getting a really beautiful strand here. Let's get your price in for 165 carats. It's a beautiful price of just £4.95 for you today. In ancient times, when we didn't have the resources to, paint with these bright, vibrant colours, painters who were very highly skilled, very well renowned, who used to get paid for commissions by royalty, they actually used to crush this gemstone up and use it in their art because it was they couldn't have blue, they couldn't make blue in any other way. So the fact that painters could work with this, it showed off their skill, and it also showed off how talented they were, because they were able to work with this gemstone. And I think you'll be able to work with this gemstone as well, won't you, for £4.95. I've got a lot of people, you've got it in your baskets, haven't you, but you're not checking it out. There's a few of you within your baskets right now who hasn't checked it out. I'll say that there is a lot of people on the phones right now for this. We will be answering your calls, don't worry, but I just want to make sure that you are checking out, because otherwise someone can just steal it out of your basket, and we don't want that. It's £4.95 for two shapes today, your rondelles and your tubes, both this stunning lapis. We've got loads more of these types of strands at that crazy low price. Emeralds coming up for you as well very soon, but right now you've been waiting all afternoon. Let's bring you right this second a star by. Okay, right, genuinely, sometimes I will say to you at home, just trust me on this, just trust me, and this is really the time to do it. If you are, when the codes come up, are not on the phone, you should be. Your code is up. It's OLCRT £67. Your price today is £6.95. You need to check out your baskets, because I would guess in about 5 minutes that will be taken out of your baskets. This is what you'll have winging your way to you. Now, they're so much fun, these bags, aren't they? Because you can never be completely sure what you're going to get. But I will get this out for you if I can. However, the knot in it is slightly like Fort Knox itself. This is a wonderful bead scoop. Basically, we've popped in here loads and loads of goodies, loads and loads of treats for you. You were telling me earlier, why do you like bead scoops, Laura Binding?
Well, I was saying, for me, I love the fact that you don't know what you're going to find.
Oh, it's all right. No, I've done it.
You've done it?
Well, no, I haven't, but I've just loosened it.
I love the fact that you don't know what you're going to find. You get a nice variety in there. And for someone like me, who...
Yeah? Oh, sorry. Scott's trying to help me. Snip. Oh, no, it's all right. I've got it now.
For someone who, like me, who I don't do a lot of gem-heavy pieces generally. I like to do pendants with a couple of stones or a one-off focal stone. So for me, I love the fact that you don't know what you're going to get. You can do lovely rings with them because you get a variety of stones and colours. And sometimes it takes you... what I find a lot of people in my class say when they have a scoop is that they don't realise how beautiful the stones are. When they see them on air and then they've got them in their scoop, they're able to say, wow, these are beautiful, and they're more likely to buy the strand because they can actually see them. So it's like a little taster, really. You'll get a bundle of stones in there that you might not necessarily have bought yourself. Naturally, you might think, actually, that's a really gorgeous, and end up buying a couple of strands of them. So it's just nice to sort of try different stones out, really.
I completely agree with that, and this is the perfect example. Have a look at the amount you get first off. I've got to admit, this isn't the neatest display I've ever done on the show. However, there's just so many, there's literally nothing else I can do. I've got here, look at this beautiful drop. I've got some rainbow moonstone in mine here. I can see it just glinting away, these beautiful blue hues. You've also got, you get some really fun ones. Oh my goodness, I've got druzy. I've got druzy.
Wow.
Look at this top drill druzy. And it's got a top drill. Unusual to see drill hole druzy, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be top drilled as well.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
And look, you're getting some huge pieces. Really chunky bits in here. I've got some shell, I've got some Labradorite. I can, oh wow, this is beautiful. Smoky quartz. I would guess, I think it's got a mystic coating on it, the smoky quartz, because it's giving me little pops of colour as well. Really stunning faceting on there. Look, you've got the little flowers on there too. Oh, I'm so sorry, I've got to take this off screen for you because it has sold out. I told you that it would. I'm really sorry. It's so much fun that you can get your hands on it. You don't know exactly what you're going to get. We know how much you love it. We're really going to try on this shift side to bring one of these to you again. We're going to try our hardest to get them back for you. So stick with us, please. Do stay with us. So whereabouts are we going to now? Let's give you another great prize, shall we? Because a lot of people missed out on that bead scoop and we're really sorry about that. But if you want your favourite gemstone for 2013, then this is an exceptional example of that. Take a look at this, 40 carats of Labradorite. This is a 30 centimetre strand, and they used to be, this higher quality only used to be 18 centimetres. These are your graduated faceted rondelles, and they are 3x1 all the way to 5x3. I wonder how, can you see how much shimmer and tone you're getting off this? It's beautiful. Now these are your faceted rondelles, so they almost have a bicone appearance to them in a sense, because they are faceted around the outside, but of course they've got that smooth edge. And if you see, the graduation itself is really special, because if you look at the more sizable ones, you can see this, can't you, the flashing, because of the largest amounts. You can see the beautiful schiller running atop. The reason you get schiller in Labradorite is because of the way that it's built up totally by Mother Nature, of course, in these parallel lines. And then what happens is the light enters and then refracts through, and that's how you get these beautiful bursts of tone back to you. It's a 30cm strand. Let's take a look at your price on this. £5.95. That's all you're going to be paying today for this strand. You're getting plenty on here. And do you ever get those strands home that you just think are a little bit special and you kind of like to use them just in small amounts and possibly dot them around a few pieces of your jewellery? That's how I feel about this strand. I have this strand at home myself because it's really beautiful. £5.95. That's what you'll be paying for this today. Sterling silver crimps. Apparently we've had a lot of requests to bring these to you, and we're going to do it right now. These are your 95 sterling silver crimps. You're going to be getting 40 in total. Now, sterling silver crimps are wonderful, especially if you have the crimping pliers to make them a beautiful tube shape. But they're also lovely because you can just use them as spacers, can't you, if you don't want to hide them away?
Yeah, and they're really good as well because they just, if you stack a few of them, say on a head pin, you get that kind of, where they are little, you can see the line. It gives a bit of texture to it as well.
Oh, I like that. That's a really good idea.
So it just gives it a bit of interest.
Quite modern, that sounds.
Yeah.
You're going to be getting 40 of these in total, and they are your 3x2mm. So of course 925, it's the highest grade of silver we can possibly bring to you. That is Britannia silver. However, Britannia silver is far too soft to work with. You're going to get a fair few strands of beading threads through here, aren't you? Don't suppose I've got any around, have I? I'm reckoning you could easily get 4 through there, couldn't you? Easy peasy. Possibly 5 or even 6 through these because it is a really large crimp bead. 40 pieces, your price on this today. £4.95 for 40 pieces of 925 sterling silver. If you do have those pliers, you can use these and it gives it a really professional finish. But if you don't, as Laura said, play with them. Have a little bit of fun with them. Use them as spacers. Use them as interesting juts to your pieces and texture to them. It's 40 for £4.95 today. Plenty that you can work with there, and it is silver, so it's a beautiful, well, it's my favourite colour, I've got to admit, but it's noticeable. People notice it. People aren't afraid of silver that often, are they? So it's great that you can get your hands on it at that wonderful price. Got for you really nice strand here. You really like spinel, don't you, Kirsty? Kirsty, tell me why you like spinel. One of the gemstones, she said, she thought she'd never be able to work with. If you haven't met my producer, Kirsty, by the way, she used to be a guest designer on this channel, and now she's gone over to the dark side and become a producer. So she used to be a guest designer, and she's just saying when she was making jewellery, she never thought she'd be able to get her hands on this higher quality, this beautiful gemstone. So she loves that you can now. 120 carats worth you have of this spinel. Now it's known as the Black Prince's ruby, isn't it? Because it was set into, was it Henry V's helmet when he went for the Battle of Agincourt, and it said that it saved his life because an axe went through his helmet. It went actually through the precious metal, through the metal itself, but the gemstone, because of its strength, he was saved by the gemstone because the axe stopped. Otherwise, it was a blow to the head. He would have been dead instantly, but due to this, he managed to survive. 120 carats worth you have of this black spinel. Let's take a look at your price today. That is a stunning price for spinel, £7.95, and these ones are your graduated medium nuggets. You've got a real mix, the super high shine, superbly polished on these today. All the way up to 14 by 9 mil, so you've got some nice large pieces in there. You've got to put some sterling silver with this, really, don't you?
Oh, definitely. That's what I was saying about having that luxury. You know, if you had like the rose gold or something, that would look beautiful.
Gold and rose gold. Really like that idea. £7.95 for you today. Now, I'm going to squeeze a couple more in for you. Do you want a pop of colour? Do you want mixtures of colour? Then let's bring this for you. This is your multicoloured quartz strand. So many wonderful pops in here. You've got saffrons, you've got sky blues, you've got your whiskey tones running through here. You can, of course, use it as stranded. However, colour blocking with these, I think, would be really good fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that a lot of people see them, when they see multicoloured strands, they think of children, you know, because you think, oh, I could sit down when children play because it's colourful. But what you can do is split them. And as soon as you split them into the colour groups, they suddenly become sets of you know, the green gemstone or the bluer gemstone, and you've got actually sets. And then it's something that you can get a couple of, and you can make some really nice matching,
really beautiful pieces. I think when I put it on the white, you can see a little bit better, actually, the colours as opposed to when it's on my skin, because it's so much brighter to the eye. 170 carats worth you've got of your multicoloured crackled quartz. Let's take a look at your price today. 8mm rounds, your favourite, £5.90, 95 sorry. The crackle itself is just caused by heating process, so we heat it and then you can see that the colour itself becomes more intense in the cracked zone, which is why you get this almost textured internal effect. It's a lovely bright pop, and it is getting to spring. You are going to see more colours coming into the high street, so get ahead of the fashion curve with this strand at just £5.95. I'm gonna bring for you these. I absolutely, oh hang on, I'm on the wrong side. We adore these. These are your earring findings. We were having a good nosy at these before. They're classed as earring findings, but you could do so much more with them. Let me show you these. You're gonna be getting, I think they've always got a bit of a 60s vibe to them. I've no idea why, but I think it is because of all the little circles in them. But they're also really modern, really contemporary, because they've got this beautiful flow to them. You're going to be getting 3 pairs in these, and these are gold plated 95 sterling silver, and they are plated with wonderful 7 carat gold on these. Why are they escaping? Have a little look at these for me. So these are your 3 loop around earring connectors. So if we have a little look, the section I'm holding them in now, that could possibly, not essentially, be the area that you attach your shepherd's hook, and then you could have 3 drops if you wanted. However, you could do it the other way around, couldn't you? You could do it like this, maybe keep it a little bit more simple, drop from the bottom. So you're going to be getting 3 sets of these today. Let's take a look at your price, shall we? Web price is £9.95. So already we're under £10. We're just going to take it lower, why not? It's not £9.95 for you today. It is in fact just £6.95 for you today. That is all you're going to be paying. And the wonderful thing with these is don't just use them as earring. What you can do as well is, say you were to have these on your collarbone, have them loop at the back with your connector. From these 3 you could do a bib drape, couldn't you, if these were at the sign, or even a multi-stranded bracelet you could do with these. £6.95. There's 6 pieces in total, 3 pairs, and a multitude of ideas to be had. £6.95 for you today. These would go really nice, actually, wouldn't they, with those?
Yeah. Gorgeous. And then you've got your wire to make your own earring findings.
You've had such a good range on today, haven't we? Really have had a good mixture of things on today. This is a strand of your Smokey quartz. You have 80 carats within these. They're your faceted ovals. So if you haven't worked with a faceted oval before, imagine you faceted round, but of course they are flattened out into almost a coin shape. And the difference realistically is they're not as chunky, are they, when they're the faceted flattened ovals? No.
But they just got an elegance about them, I think, you know, and they're almost translucent, aren't they? The clarity on them, just stunning.
It is a stunning strand. The facetings really just capturing the light there. You get this seductive sparkle off each one. So this is a 30 centimetre strand. Again, great length for such a high quality gemstone. It's 80 carats of your Smokey quartz. They are graduated from around 7 by 5 all the way to 10 by 7 mil. The price for Smokey quartz, we know, is pretty much always double figures, isn't it? It's pretty much double figures all the time. The clarity on these are exceptional as well, which you'd think often would bring the price up. But we're in our under £10 hour. Let's have a look at your price today. £5.95. Wow. We didn't discuss that price earlier on, did we? Kirsty says I just wanted to. £5.95, 80 carats worth of Smokey quartz. This is truly a deal to get your hands on right here, right now. It's seductively sparkly, it's got crystal clarity, and it can be yours for just £5.95 if you get it in your basket and check out right now. Squeeze another. These look beautiful with gold. These ones are your Prehnite nuggets. We had these on not so long ago actually, and they've got, if I get my arm in the way, these are the last few that we have in at the moment. They're a really unusual blue, aren't they? How would you describe that?
It's almost like a sea blue. It's like a sort of, it's what you would think of like an ocean sea sort of blue. It's got that mix of green. It's not quite green. It's not quite blue.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Almost aquamarine-y, but not as poppy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a bit more of a greeny tinge to it.
Green, yeah, it is a little bit.
Oh, I don't know.
You've got 330 carats worth here of these long nuggets, and they are graduated from 10 by 4 all the way to 18 by 5. Now, if you are worried about working with nuggets, do get yourself on our website. You'll be able to see there is a chips and nuggets DVD to give you step by step. But just as a really simple thing, strand it just as you would a normal necklace. Perhaps use these, graduate them out, and just use them as spaces between your rounds to add texture to your pieces, just to get you started off. And then I'm sure your love for them will grow and grow, as it does with many people. Let's take a look at your price, shall we? £4.95. If you haven't tried using chips or nuggets like this before, then this is your time to start. At £4.95, and it's Prehnite. Prehnite is known for its beautiful cleavage, and this is no exception. £4.95 today. I can squeeze in no more, apart from, of course, your star buy. I have 50. That is all I have in stock of these. Cleopatra's favourite, renowned throughout the whole of the Egyptian period. It is, of course, emerald. You have here 270 carats worth of your emerald in these graduated plain medium nuggets. They're from around 8 by 6 all the way to 16 by 10 mil, and it's a 36 centimetre strand. Now, Cleopatra herself fought over mines because she adored this gemstone so much. She was often adorned in this stunning, stunning gemstone because they believed that it was going to protect against fatalities. They also believe that it would help you through and give you courage, which is another reason her, of course, in the status that she was in, it's another reason that she used to wear it, to give herself some courage. And that is often why in the tombs a lot of emeralds has been found, because emerald was buried with many of the pharaohs who were mummified, because they believed that in the afterlife it would give them strength and confidence to continue through. And you can understand why they believe that, can't you? Because it has got the strength of its colour. It's a very confident and bold stone. And I think the actual way these are shaped, that almost personifies it in a way. Gemonifies it would be better. You've got here a whopping 270 carats, and it's genuine emerald. It's one of your big ones. Everyone knows the name of emerald. And the wonderful thing about emerald as well, which I've always thought is really interesting, is that some quality of really beautiful quality of emerald is actually often priced higher than the same carat weight in diamonds, which I think is exceptional. It just goes to show, doesn't it, how well thought after this is, and how much people adore May's birthstone. It's got a stunning green to it. Oh, have we? Would you like to see that? Should we have a little look at a VT about emerald? This is Carol in India talking about emerald.
Even when you've got a pile of emerald that looks like this, even some of the larger gemstones, which are mainly reserved to put into jewellery, if you hold one of the bigger stones up to the light, you'll notice that only part of the gemstone is light and gem-worthy.
That was Carol in Jaipur, just showing you a little bit more about these wonderful gemstones and where we get ours from. It is a wonderful gemstone. It's been renowned for many years. Even in documentation, we found pieces written from around 4,000 years ago about this gemstone, which is extraordinary, isn't it? Let's take a look at your price on this 36cm strand today. £11.95 is your price on the web. But we're in our under £10 hour. Let's take that price down, shall we? It's not £11.95. You've got 270 carats worth. £8.95 for genuine emerald. It's one of the big ones. Do you honestly, could you think to yourself, oh, I can own emerald for less than £10? You couldn't, could you? Some people, when you first start out, you probably don't even realise that you can work with emerald unless you're really fully trained gemologist or you've done your silversmithing. But you can here today. If you've never treated yourself to one of the big ones, this is officially your chance to do it. You're getting one of the big gems, huge sizes, all the way to 16 by 10 mil for just £8.95. You do not have to wait to get these home at that price. Treat yourself. Your designs are worth it. Give yourself emerald for just £8.95. That is a great star buy to finish off our afternoon with, isn't it? £8.95. I will leave this with you, BBIM14. That is your price at £8.95 today. Now I'm coming over for you, Laura. Now, if you'll remember from a little bit earlier on, we gave Laura a challenge. We gave her 2 strands, one beautiful Botswana, one Labradorite, and a whole reel of 100 metres worth of your antiques bronze wire as well. Let's have a little look what she's made. Do you remember she also had a sneaky request?
I don't know if I've pulled it off, to be honest.
No?
I don't know. I have done the ring. I just don't know if it's quite manly enough. Yeah, I'll work on it.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is, because it looks a bit like a sovereign ring.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to sort of frame it a little bit.
This one is yours to have a little look at later on, Tom. What do you think of that, Tom?
Don't worry, I won't be offended, because I know it's hard to make.
No, he honestly said, oh no, I really like that actually. I really like that.
I'll work on it and try and refine it a little bit. But
no, I think it's got that signet ring.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, that sort
it.
of solidness. You know, I don't know, men like this sort of solid.
No, I know what you mean.
So
I think it's wonderful, really beautiful. Just to let you know, up on screen now is your antique bronze. You've got 100 metres of that. It was the 0.8, and that's what you used throughout this,
yeah,
isn't
I haven't cheated. It's all just been done using the wire. So I've done the just plaited 3 pieces together to sort of create a bit of a chain effect. Yeah. I've done macrame on it, which, you know, again, it's that little bit more sort of unisex. I mean, I did it a bit small.
I see.
And then I've just done a couple of different rings, pair of earrings, just to show how you can sort of sort it out.
That's sort it out. You can sort it out. I think that's a wonderful piece, absolutely beautiful. And have a little look. We'll bring in your gemstones now. Don't forget $19.95. That shouldn't be your price on that wire. Just done you a little discount today. And we're going to bring in your gemstones for you now. You've used in this wonderful bracelet.
Yeah.
These are the large Botswana agate, aren't they?
It wasn't the largest.
No. Do you have larges?
I just thought it was a nice sort of, and again, I thought it was a little bit more sort of unisex. I think I'm not the best at macrame, I'm not going to lie, especially using 0.8 wire because it is a bit harder, so it doesn't sort of.
It was really good to me.
But you know, I was quite happy with it.
That was really good to me. And just explain to us how you've encapsulated this.
So I've literally just used 2 pieces of 0.8 wire as almost like the lazy strand, because those Botswanas can actually take 2 pieces of 0.8 wire through them.
Oh, that's great.
So that's really handy.
It is huge.
So just to give it a bit more strength. And then obviously I just used them. I used the macrame board, put the stone on, and I just did the sort of just a standard square knot. And then with the ends of it, I just made a little clasp and hook, really.
It's a wonderful piece, and although it's quite chunky, it's not heavy, is it?
No, no. I thought it was quite nice, and I like the fact that the antique bronze just sort of brings out the colours of those stones as well.
I completely agree with that. Now, that is your Botswana on screen at the moment. You have 580 carats worth, and some of them were whoppers, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've still got the largest.
We've still got the large ones.
Yeah,
left.
and the banding on them, so that's still the large one, because I was going to do another bracelet, but I sort of ran out of time.
Yeah.
And then I love the banding on this one.
That's beautiful.
Just think this is one that's really gorgeous.
How huge this one is. This is around 33 by 22 mil, and actually if you show it on the hand it'll cover sort of 3 fingers, doesn't it? It is a large stone, and the banding on this one, you're completely right. Look at Laura's, it's beautiful.
Just love this banding. Look how bad my nails have got, and that's just through working throughout the 4 hours. So sorry. I won't paint them again.
At least you tried.
Fault.
You had to, it's not my fault.
It's your nail biter.
Oh, sorry, my fault. I'll take the blame. And then we've also got a final piece. Your final challenge was the Labradorite, and we've made a beautiful pair of earrings with that,
and ring.
Pretty rings. Oh wow, the Labradorescence in there.
Yeah, I know. I don't, because they are so lovely. You don't really want to go over them, but you can still see the colour on that as well. And I made that a bit larger, Kirsty, so that should fit you.
Should fit you,
Kirsty.
And is this one a little bit smaller?
Yeah, yeah.
Yay! Look at this one as well. This is one of the smaller Botswanas, is it?
But what I liked about that is the banding on it. So I didn't actually want to decorate the stone, because I just thought it was so beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It doesn't need anything
so
else.
me. Look at your little swirl at the sides.
Yeah, and they were optional. I just thought, well, you know, you don't have to do those. And then I did another one with a smaller one again, but I actually just wrapped it a bit differently.
Yeah. It is beautiful, isn't it? It's a stunning... And Laura B, honestly, I get so happy when you come into town. And finally, you've got this as well.
Smaller one again, and it's just to show, it just creates a different look again. And what I liked about that one, it was paler.
Side.
So yeah, I thought, well, because it's paler, you can put the brown, the antique bronze wire against it, and it really stands out against it. That's why I chose the paler stone.
The paler stone, I see.
So I didn't want to take away from that banding on some of them. It's so beautiful.
Yes,
so
I know you mean.
That's why I sort of chose
That's
those.
wonderful. Now, I've had a few texts in for you. We'll squeeze some in. Now, you know the ring that we were talking about earlier on, my and Laura's twin sister matching rings? Well, we're going to be showing you exactly how to make them soon, aren't we?
Yes, I'm going to do that as an inspiration.
As an inspiration.
Kirsty's got a silver version, so you can do them in any colour.
Yeah, you absolutely can. So we will be having a little look at how to do those. Do you know the date of it yet?
No, I'll speak to Becky and get it sorted. I'll try and do it in February.
It'll be done in February. We'll advertise it as soon as we know that it is coming on. We will let you know at home, of course. Now, thank you so much for joining us today. When are you on with us next?
I'm on next Monday, so Monday the 27th. I think I am on with you again. We're going to get banned.
What, on Monday?
What Kirsty said.
Oh, blimey, have you? Oh no, they're gonna cotton on soon, aren't they? So what are you going to be doing with us then? What are you going to be?
I've got something really nice, something a bit more light and delicate. I'm going to be doing how we deal with the tiny little
cabochons,
the really tiny ones,
the little matrix box ones.
Yeah, the little matrix ones. So it's just to show how we can actually sort of incorporate them into jewellery. And the other one, it's going to be fun. I'm not going to give it away yet. It's going to be good.
But I'm
it's going to be a bit different coloured as well. It's going to be a bit of a different sort of getting ready for the sort of
feminine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's also getting ready for Valentine's Day-ish. You know, it's nice.
It is cute. We will have those coming up for you. Thank you so much for today, as always, talking us through those wonderful techniques. Now, I am back with you tomorrow, 1 o'clock until 5 o'clock tomorrow, and we are joined by Teresa. And now I am heading off to jump on a bike, to cycle nowhere, because it's my time to get on the bike for the fundraising. So do have a little look online on Gemporia website. You'll find out exactly what I'm talking about and how to donate in this ad break as well. It's a really great cause. We're trying to build 5 schools. We're nearly there, but not quite. So do get donating soon. Until then, I will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening with Miss It, Miss Out Now. Bye.